look around. We've got some characters in the room tonight. If you've seen Stephen Gillen's podcast on James English, you'll know what I'm talking about. Co-interviewing tonight, we've got Chet, one of the biggest, most viewed on the channel, hundreds of thousands of views right now. His podcasts are in the description box below this if you've not seen it. And Stephen has got a hell of a story as well. I'm going to put the link to the James English video in the description box so you can click down and watch what he said to James English, my podcast brother, as well. So thank you very much for coming on, Stephen. And you've got a book coming out right now as well. We're going to put the link down there for that as well. Before we get to these hard-hitting prison stories and crime stories then, congratulations, on coming so far in your life. You've sent me links, all the stuff you're doing right now. Tremendous work you're doing for the community and your book. I know what it's like to write a book. You've got to sweat blood. So how long's it taken you to get here?
All my life, Shaun. Hi, everyone. All my life, really. You know what they say, about overnight success. And when you look back, it's 40 years in the making. We are where we're meant to be. So, right, yeah. I'm happy to be here. Still here.
Because you were incarcerated for a very long time as well.
Over 20 years, give or take, all in all.
And a lot of that was in like Supermax equivalent, double Cat A, is it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you have got lots of stories about Charles Bronson. You're in his book 3 times. He has a page. You got a page in Living Legends, and there's a story about the Wakefield cages, the high security cages up there. What it was like, and you beating up a predator.
He certainly was a predator. Well, Wakefield in them days, Shaun, was known as a control unit, so it really was the worst of the worst.
Yeah, it was.
You had the cages there. There was 3 cages. There was 2 downstairs, which was either side, and you had a cell in the middle with like a bulletproof thing here, and a bulletproof thing here. There was a telly in there, in the middle, and sometimes they would put that on, but there was a shower in either cell. Double doors, they feed you under the door like a dog. They give you the phone under there. If they opened up the cell, there'd be 10 of them. 23-hour bang up. They was picked as well down there in Wakefield. They really was. They was growly bastards, and they was handpicked fit fuckers, and they was there to deal with trouble. So you were sent there as a punishment, and they was there to deal with whoever come through the door.
Punishment jail, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why were you sent there then? What had you done?
I'd done a litany of things. I mean, I was on the ghost train. They called it the ghost train. It was called continuous assessment, which was basically you go from block to block every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, every 2 months, and then move you round and round and round. So. I was really in the game with them at that point. I mean, I think I was on the ghost train, and I would have been on it block to block for about 24 months, constantly. And I try to get off it, Shaun. I try to behave, but it tortured me spiritually, mentally, physically, and it just wasn't happening.
There's nothing worse than being moved around constantly. Is there in America? It's called diesel therapy.
You must have made moves as well, You must have made some moves to get Chet in that manner, They don't treat anybody in that manner.
No.
You must have done something, man. Come on.
Well, no.
You have to. You have to. Why would they treat you that bad? Why would they treat you
one of my
badly?
things, which I'll come to later, was, I was suspected of trying to get guns in to escape.
Maybe that's why.
Suspected.
Right, okay.
Well, that was one thing. I was
that's
already
a big
Cat
reason,
A.
So that's a reason, yeah. Right, I get it.
But there was a lot of compounding
I get
reasons
it.
after that. There was violence with other inmates.
Yeah.
There was violence with the screws.
Yeah.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
And it was
But trying to get firearms inside is the heaviest thing you can do. So I get it. Yeah, I get it.
This is what they said, but we'll get into this
Allegedly.
Allegedly. It's quite a story. But look, it's coming later, that story,
You've done enough inside, yeah? Just tell them, yeah? Just tell them. They can't give you no more. What the fuck?
No, absolutely. I mean, I say it how it is, shit. I say it how it is. But what these people are like, they make up all kinds of conspiracy stories.
You're right.
The next thing...
You're right,
We're all in a
Allegedly,
conspiracy.
trying to get guns, but it's all bullshit, innit, obviously. It's all bullshit. It's all hearsay, innit, really?
Well,
Obviously, it's hearsay.
yeah.
Because
I
you
mean,
didn't go to them and say that, did you? Yeah, it's hearsay, innit?
No, that's other people.
Yeah,
but look,
hearsay.
you know, if you think my security file, Shaun, it was like that. I mean, fucking like that. I mean, what would be in a file like that, travelling around? There was two files, two parts to it, one big bit like that and another bit. This is just a security file. So they're writing and, you know, when you're on the book, you know, you're a cat A, they're just writing. 70% of it is...
Well, yeah, if a
dodgy.
screw doesn't like you anyway. If
It
the head
can write.
screw, if the head screw, if they don't like you and that, you're fucked anyway, you know? They can write what the fuck they want, can't they, really, at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they can do what they want you. Send you there, it's up to them, innit?
So it's a funny thing, you know. It's a funny thing,
Yeah.
So you ended up in the Wakefield cages. You've described it. And then what happens with the predator?
It's a really horrible place. You have to think that it's nonsense there. It's really hardcore nonsense. They don't put the normal people on the wing. We don't go on the wing. It doesn't happen. But they hold all the real beasts there, Shaun. And it's a kind of a place, when you go into that place, the atmosphere, you can smell it. It stinks. It's the worst place on earth. Probably one of the worst places I ever been to. I went to harder jails, but that
You
was
know.
horrible.
I know what you mean. Oh, yeah.
Everything
it's
about
like
it.
Spain, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not the hardest of people, it's just the worst of people. Yeah, just, you know, oh, God, you look at them, you go, fuck.
There's a stink to it, Chet, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything
No,
there.
I get that.
So anyway, I was in a cage that, you know, there was 3 cages. There was 2 downstairs, you know, the main ones, and then there'd be one that was in front of the hot plate, which was double doors and all that. So when you'd come, they'd put you in there first, so they could work on you a bit more, like, you know, and observe you is the thing, right? So anyway, I'm there, and there's this guy next door, you know, and he's talking out the window and all. He's a cat A, you know. I see the red A in the door, so I know this is someone. You know, he's doing a lump of bird or something about. But, you know, I find out, you know, I'm talking to Charlie out the window and he keeps butting in. So I think, who's this guy? So anyway, he's saying, you Cockney gangsters and all this shit he starts saying.
Where's
right?
he from, anyway? Originally Charlie Bronson.
Charlie's from Luton.
Where's he from? Luton, is he? Right, go on.
Yeah, but this guy, this nonce,
Yeah.
he was a cat A, one of them sadists. You know, he was kidnapping birds off the street and torturing them. I mean, he was a nasty bit of work.
What colour was he?
He was a white. He was one of them you'd want to get your hands on, really. He was just an horrible person. But he kept kind of getting involved. So anyway, you know that inevitable come, who are you? And, you know, he's next door to me. So we're having a bit of to and fro. So he starts giving it out the window shit. So obviously I can't get to him, right? You know, so he keeps banging on the wall, you know, trying to get my nut. So, you know, I'm saying to him, skinny boy, listen, see, when I get you, skinny boy, I'm going to snap that little nigger of yours. I'm trying to get into his head, shit. I said, see, when I get them little arms with yours, when I get them, I'm going to snap them like twigs. I said, I promise you, I'll get you out in that yard. I'm going to get you one day out there. And I did want him, but he was so sure that there's no way I would get him, because you'd come out of there and they'd come out in the morning and there was a yard here and a yard there. So we'd come out, they'd always put us singly. We'd never go in.
You don't
with
get
them.
the chance, man. It's fucking infuriating, that shit. When there's a skinny nonce slagging you off and there's nothing you can do about it, is there?
This was a nasty bit of work.
happens
It
as
gets
well,
you,
know?
doesn't it?
You
It
know,
gets you.
happens as well.
Yeah, it
Well, you
gets
know
you.
that you can't reach them, yeah? Physically reach them, and they're loving it, and they feel free.
Quick question for you then. So a lot of guards say this guy's chomo because they just want you to do him in. The gang say, show me the paperwork. How do you confirm he's a predator?
We just knew, you know, because there was a screw in there. You have to watch them, but, you know, we just kind of knew. And, you know, I forget what it was, but it was someone down there, like Charlie knew someone or someone, and it was confirmed. He's so-and-so from so-and-so. I can't remember the full strength of it, but it was confirmed. We didn't know who this guy was. We knew what he was, and obviously we looked into it a little bit, and he was what he was, right?
Torturing women.
This was the thing, right? He was a cat A as well, so he was naughty, right? And you just know with these people, Shaun. You know when you're away, there's just something about them. You just know, right? You just know by everything they do. They're nasty bits of work. So anyway, this kind of went on for 2 weeks. And one morning I went out there, and the Screws, they set this up because they hated him as well. They hated him.
Right.
He was one of them.
Did you
They hated
set
him.
them up or not, you know?
Hey?
Normally to set somebody up, yeah? I was asked, Durham, okay, I'll let you finish your story and I'll tell you my story, yeah? Setting somebody up.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, right, go on.
So I've come out, do you know, instead of going left by myself, they've opened the door to the right. Now, there's about 6 of them in there. I don't know who they are. It's kind of a small yard. There's 2 of them. So I walk in there. All I'm hearing behind me, shut. I'm hearing, you know, I'm waiting for the metal door to clang shut. You know, we've got on them grey lifer coat things, and he seen me. And I see his face like that, and he went to say something, but I was over to him. I just went bang, bang, bang.
You got
bang.
him?
Yeah, on the penny. You know, I got him. Anyway, I'm still waiting him. They've left it for a bit, the Screws. Not for long.
I know, yeah.
Not for long. Right?
30 seconds they give you, don't they, normally, innit?
Not for long.
They give you 30 seconds normally.
Yeah, 30 seconds. But, you know, it was over anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I really did, you know, and I caught him lovely. But they've come in, you know, and they've dragged me off. So, you know, CNR, all the thing, at the back, trussed up at the thing. You know, I'm still saying to him, I told you, skinny boy, I'm going to get you. Anyway, he had 2 eyes like this, black as a panda. You know, so Charlie Bronson was saying when he's seeing me at Charlie, he's laughing out the window. He says, you walked into the wall. He says, Steve, you got him, didn't you? Looks like he walked into the wall. He's got 2 eyes like a panda. But he had, look, you know, I mean, I would have to do what I have to do. I'm a nice person. I don't like bullies or anything like that. But when you get someone like that, I must admit, I didn't feel no way about giving him what he was asking for.
You wound
Shaun.
him up as well at the same
That's
time.
the
man.
truth.
Did the guards give you a pass on that because he was a sex offender?
I got nicked and all that, but one of them said, I'll see you out in that yard, you're a boxing champion. He was happy because he hated him. That's what he said.
Right.
He said, and I've seen you out. And they, you know, there was no talk between us, so that was a big thing for them. Yeah. So they was happy you got you know.
Yeah,
They tried to set you up.
Right, no. Right, I'll tell you a story, yeah? The Durham jail, this, yeah? There was a black geezer that come in here. He was big, black, 6'3", big, yeah? Looked like, you know, and what he did at this present time, he was like, help this girl home or something with a shopping. He pretended to have, he pretended to have a broken arm, right? He couldn't carry a bag and his girl did it, and then he just got a hold of her, dragged in his flat, kept her there for 3 days. Raped her, properly fucking did the business. He was a big black geezer, right? And she was a little girl, so you can imagine, right? And anyway, got jail, yeah, and he was hated, yeah? But he was a fucking intimidating looking cunt, right? And anyway, he'd come in. I was the head air cleaner on my wing, air wing, and the Screws said to me, right, okay, he's in this cell, right, okay? We're gonna leave that door, your door open, and you just walk in and bash him, right? I went, listen, tools, have I got any? They went, no. I went, right, have you seen the fucking size of the cunt? I went, give me something and I will do it, yeah? If you don't, he could get me, you know, because he's a dangerous motherfucker, right?
You see him, don't you?
Yeah,
Chet?
you know, I've seen the fucker, yeah?
Yeah.
But nobody else would do him, and just went, give him a licking, because he used to give the Screws a hard time. He used to give the Screws a hard time, spit on him and do this, and went, listen, we want him bashed, yeah? So I did get offered the job. I said no. I said, what's in it on my part? And then they said, and it wasn't a lot, really, because I'm risking my fucking life while I'm fucking walking into that geezer's cell. He ain't no
Done the right thing,
you know,
because they put you up as well then.
He's a big
And
dangerous.
why will I be doing that? Go in
Yeah,
there and end up
so-
someone gets killed.
Yeah, so that's what they set up on my part, and I went, no, I didn't buy that. I went, unless you give me a tool, okay, to make sure the job's done. They went, no, we can't do that. I went, no, then.
Yeah.
Did someone else go in for them?
No, nobody did. No, nobody did. They asked others as well, yeah, but they thought the same as me. Have you seen the size of this fucker? And plus he's like, you know, he's horrible, dirty, rapist, like, has no decency, no morals. They're bad, man. They're bad.
This is a really
yeah.
really strong start, fellas. People watching this is the kind of story that they
Right,
like.
right, okay.
All right. Well, how did you first meet Bronson then?
I met Charlie in Wandsworth Block. I'd been down there with some fracas on the wing, and I was down there, and we started talking. You know, we got on straight away. He's a wonderful storyteller, Charlie, but we went all the way through the sentence together, because I'd done a lot of solitary confinement on my own journey, Shaun. You know, I was in units with Charlie as well. Woodhill, CRC. You know, for the most disruptive prisoners in the country. Charlie was the 7th one selected for that, I think. I think I was 8th or 9th. I come just after him. 2 years I was in there. So, you know, we had it all in there as well.
So to balance out the darkness then, have you got any funny stories of Charlie stuff, antics?
I'll tell you what, he's got unbelievable stories, Chet, right? Especially the ones in Broadmoor, where he was in Broadmoor. I'll tell you one, I'll never forget it. He said, Steve, I was in Broadmoor, and there's, you know, with all the mad people, you know, he told me about toilet roll guy, right, and all this. But he says there was one guy. He said, Steve, I'm sitting down in this room, in this deli room. He says, and he comes up, this guy, and he says, I know you. You're Charlie Bronson. He said, go on, kiss an iodine. Right? True story, true guy.
Yeah, believe it.
So anyway, he'd never heard that before, Charlie. He said, Steve, I looked at him and I went, go away, right? But anyway, this guy would keep on up to him. Go on, kiss a proper one there. Kiss the best one you've got on the chin. Charlie said, Steve, I could not get rid of this guy. Everywhere I went, this guy was on me. Kiss an hiding, please. Kiss a beating.
He wants to sell the story once he leaves jail, didn't he? Obviously, you know, I got cheated.
He's nuts, Chet.
Yeah.
No, this guy is, you know, it's a shilling short. Right, so anyway, he said, Steve, he drove me mad. And then one day, a few weeks later, he says, I'm in the cars here, I'm having a... And he comes in and he says, go on, kiss an hiding. So I said, Steve, all right, I'll give you a fucking hiding. So he said he went to him, bang, bang, bang. He said, Steve, he's on the floor. He says, so I'm looking at him now, and he says, and he's coming round, he's got a bird spinning, and he says, wow, he says, that was fucking great. Anyway, it's mad, isn't it? True story. Right, so the screws come in, and they drag him out. And they drag him out, right? So they get him down in the room, they say, Charlie, we know he likes a good idea, but fucking leave him alone. That was
Likes a good idea. He likes
Have
a
you
good
ever heard
idea.
anything like that?
No,
True
never.
story.
Really?
Chet.
Did you not sell his story afterwards? That geezer. Did you not go to the newspapers and sell that story?
I don't think he was too well, Chet.
Ah. Yeah. Go on then. Go on. Move on then.
All right, going back to the darkness then, you got one of you're with Charlie in Full Sutton Block, and it was a pretty harrowing place. And then there was a Category A predator, John Reed, who killed himself one night just next door to you. So do you want to set the table for that one?
This is a crazy story. Another story, right? I'm down the block with Charlie. We're having a hard time down there. I'm a dirty process and everything. They're really giving us some shit down there, these people. It was a nasty kind of a time. The block's full. I'm here. Charlie's about 5 down. Next door to me, there's this guy. His name's John Reed. Now, he's another one. We checked the case out. But he kidnapped a woman off the street in King's Cross. He was a rapist.
I've heard of that name.
He put a gun to her head and he killed her, right? Oh, this is fucking, tell you what. So anyway, he's next door. Now, do you know when you do lines, Shaun, you know, you'd roll up a paper like an arrow, you'd put a bit of thing in it, but you'd throw it out and then someone else further down would throw it out. You'd lock it so you could pass things along the window.
Fishing lines, we call them.
Fishing lines, right? We'd have the papers down there, you know, so there'd be the good people down there, you know, so we'd be throwing, he's in the middle, you know, this John Steed, his name was, right? So we're throwing that, but every time we want to pass the newspapers, the daily newspapers, or a bit of Snout, or whatever to each other, he keeps throwing the thing at Shaun and knocking it in and nicking the papers and all this. So this was the thing with him down there. So anyway, I get down to the part. I said, "Yeah, you know, stop taking them fucking papers, you know, off the thing, right?" So anyway, he's trying to get into this dialogue with me through the pipe, but of course I fucked him off, you know, because I knew, he was just talking madness, trying to balance up and justify himself and make himself right, you know, and all this, you know, and I fucked him off. But anyway, so I'm down there with Charlie, and people who was down there, they kind of turned on him, Shaun, because he was causing a lot of trouble down there. And he was a nonce. He was another cat, by the way. He was about 10 years in to a life sentence. And there's one thing I remember with this guy. I said to him, "See you." I said, "You're dirty." I said, "Why did you do that to that woman? Why did you shoot her?" "She disobeyed me," he went. I couldn't believe it. He says, "I'm like a Viking." I thought, what a fucking disgrace. I said, "You see you fuck." Anyway, this was the thing. So one week go with this. Anyway, I'm sitting in my bed. So he keeps nicking papers here and there. And the lads out there, they're turning on him and they're giving him a bit of abuse because of it. So this is the thing, right? I blanked him. Anyway, I'm in my bed, shit, right? And I woke up, it must have been about 5 a.m. And I've heard the screw go, "Rigor mortis is setting." Struffle, fucking rigor mortis. So I woke up, thought, what the fuck is that? I know what rigor mortis means.
Yeah.
So I hear the thing going next door. But this guy, how it turns out, he was a Buddhist. And there was some Buddhist calendar thing, and it was some kind of special day or something. But he hung himself in there. Right. Next door in the night, he took his life. There was not a sound out of there, shit. I didn't hear anything, no ruckus, no nothing. But he'd killed himself in there. And there was, so anyway, they're all rushing in there, the screws. This is early morning. They left him in there, I think, until the afternoon. They closed everything down the way they did. We were all watching out the side of the door, and they wrapped him up like a mummy and took him out the back door. Very bad stuff. But there you go, that's a true story.
What a piece of shit. Did he do the dangle or did he lean forward?
Do you know what? I really don't know. He hung himself in there.
It's very difficult to sell, isn't it? It's hard
It's very
work,
difficult to do. Shit, I wouldn't know how anybody done it.
You know what, yeah? When you hang yourself, what kills you is when your neck snaps, yeah? So you need that, like, space to, like, drop, boom. So, boom, your neck just goes and you're hanging, yeah? If you don't have that drop, it's just a case of slow.
When they lean forward, it's slow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It'll take you fucking ages, wouldn't it? If you think about it, especially if you've got a neck like ours, yeah?
Well, that's why.
If you've got a neck like ours, yeah, it'll take fucking ages.
That's why with Epstein. Epstein was too tall to dangle.
I think he had a skinny neck, didn't he?
He leant forward, they're saying.
He had a skinny neck, though.
But all the bones are broken, even though he leant forward.
No, that can't happen then.
Yeah, exactly.
That can't
Yeah,
happen.
that was a bit of special treatment.
No. No, yeah, but that's the whole point.
Special treatment.
Special treatment. But I'll tell you what.
Took care of him really in a way. Yeah, yes, it's all right.
Do you know, I always thought that though, Chet.
It took care of him.
One less sex offender.
I didn't know how he would have hung himself in there. Do you know what I mean, Chet? But because there was, but anyway, he managed it. So there you go.
Yeah.
So we've got, with the Leeds gangster beat Australia's most dangerous man in whole unit. And the whole unit was for the UK's most disruptive prisoners. Prisoners included serial killer Colin Ireland. And then also your friend Frank Burley is now dead, shot and killed when he got out. Beat up Ian Steele, a triple murderer who'd come from Whitemoor SSU, known as Australia's most dangerous man. All right, let me just go back to the beginning of that then. Hull Special Unit. What's that like? How did you end up there?
Because of the litany of trouble all the way through, they build like a case up against you, and they kind of label you. Yeah, you position yourself for that, but this is what happens, right? So this is about halfway through my sentence. They don't know what to do with me. I'm now one of these people. They've thrown everything out. They can't break. So they think, right, here's a real one. We're not quite sure what to fucking do with him. It's like the rest of them. So we'll go round and round and round, or we'll have a strategy with him. Right, this is what he's done. A whole unit was like Barlini in the old days, in the sense they give you everything now. You cooked your own food. You stayed on the unit. You had visits. You could bring food out on the visits. You had your own gym. You had 2 TV rooms. They'd even let people come on the unit, the visitors, and stuff like that. It was really, I got there. There was about 7 of us. Alan Lord was there when I got there.
Oh yeah, we've had Alan Lord on the podcast. Amazing stories on the run, jumping through windows. If you've not seen our Alan Lord interview, I'll put that in the description box below the video. So if you want to click down and watch that, it is action packed.
Alan was there. Strange ways. Alan was there. You had a few people there. Kevin Brown. You had Keith Pringle from Middlesbrough. Frankie Burley. He's dead now. Blessed. There's a big gang war in Leeds. He got shot not long after he got out. Going back, and there was a few of us in there. And we got on because we all kind of knew each other. It was a funny place. It was a very paranoid place, and it was a strange place. But, sometimes they try and slip one in. I mean, Ian Steele. Ian Steele was, at the time, he was classed as Australia's most dangerous man. He was in the SSU over in Whitemore, with all them lot over there, the IRA, all that lot. Exceptional risk Cat A. But they downgraded him, so he still had to go in units. So they sent him to Hull. But, he'd killed about 3 people already, right at that point. And he'd escaped, Chet. This was why they needed him in units still. He was a triple lifer or whatever. He was a strange character. So he was there. He just had strange ways, And what happens is when you're in these units with people, we all have our ways, right? I've learned to live with them as long as they don't get in the way or cause too much of a problem. Each to their own. But everything's magnified in there. There'd be stupid things like you left a pot on, people that get killed over leaving the pot on the fucking stove that ain't clean.
People come in your cell, having a toast, leaving crumbs on your floor. You go, what? How dare you?
It's magnified, isn't it, Chet? It's fucking crazy madness.
I've just cleaned my pad. How dare you leave crumbs on my floor?
Yeah, he's mugging me off. He's setting me up. He's mugging me off and then he's setting me up. Right.
Is he like having a go at me? Like coming in my cell with a piece of toast and eating it in mine and leaving crumbs on my floor? It's psychology, you think?
Yeah, it is.
Has he just done this on purpose? He could have eaten in this cell.
Is he testing me, in it, Chef? Yeah. Is he testing me, now?
Yeah.
You see the psyche, what he's talking about? What it is, because these places are so, Shaun, are so violent and so hair-trigger.
It can just go anytime.
Something little small like that can be the start of more. If people think then the next thing, they're taking more liberties, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going down the path of serious stuff happening.
Kicks things off, isn't it? Yeah. It's never anything big.
I've seen things as stupid as, who are you looking at?
Yeah.
Not looking at nothing. You calling me nothing. Bam.
Yeah. Losing a game of chess is a heavy one.
Gambling.
Losing a game of chess was a heavy one for me. I'll go, right, I'll get you later. I like chess, I'm a chess player. And I'll go, and I'll be foaming if I lost a game, and now I'd knock over my queen, I mean my king, I'd knock it over, and go, right. I'll see you. I'll walk away. But I'll be foaming, and for that night, I won't sleep properly, knowing I've lost the game of chess. Everything, like you said, magnified. On the out, it's forgotten about in 2 minutes. In there, it carries for a week.
Yeah.
So we've got so Ian Steele, triple murderer. The day me and my friend Frank beat up Ian Steele. So how did that?
He'd been doing a few things. It's good we talk about how this stuff pans out, because he was making a few moves to try and ruffle our feathers, moving shit, smashing shit, walking around as if, he's going to do something and all this stuff. That's the worst one, because you have to be watchful, right? Constantly. Can't turn your back and all that. What's he up to? Where is he? What, she ain't getting no knives out of the kitchen and all this stuff. This is the kind of stuff, right? So, all that was going on. And then it's come to a head. We was up on the twos. It's like a little box, right? With the all the stuff on the bottom. Main cells on the twos. On the top there were cells, but we didn't use them. there's about 6, 9 of us in at any one time. And it's come to a head, and me and him on the landing, it was pretty much me he wanted. So we started fighting, but Frankie Burley was there. Me and Frank was like that from Leeds, right?
Why did he want you?
I don't know. He's just had something in his head with me, and I was the target. One of them. I was the
Fixated.
target. Well, it wasn't that I'd done any. I mean, I wouldn't take no shit from him. I didn't care who he was. But it seemed to be I was the one, right? But, it wasn't as easy as that because, I hadn't really done anything wrong. And he was taking the piss in there anyway. People had the ump with the way he was behaving. But me and Frank was like that. Me and Frank was like that. We trained together. We'd done everything together.
Could have seen you as a threat. Maybe I need to take this guy out because he could take. I don't know what goes through these people's fucking heads, yeah? So he could have looked you in that way, He obviously seen you as a threat. If you weren't a threat, and then he won't be interested, would he?
Exactly, yeah.
I think, there's something, definitely wary of
seen
me.
you as a
Everyone
threat,
was
yeah.
wary of everyone in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that was the
yeah.
truth. But it seemed to be I was the target for him for some reason, right? But, he picked the wrong time because when he done it, I mean, brains, Frank was there. And Frank looked at me and he nodded as if to say, yeah, Steve, do him. Let's do this. Fuck. You know what I mean? Let's do him and get him off the wing. So we just done him there and then on the thing. We done him. And, of course, he was gone because there's 2 of us. He's causing all the trouble. So
Cool,
took him off the
excellent,
wing.
Yeah, so where you do it.
And that was
Fuck him,
it.
innit? Fuck him, innit? Fuck him. Yeah. Fuck him. If someone's bringing drama to your door,
He's
you
causing
don't
a
even
lot of
want
problems
it.
in there.
You don't
A
even
lot of
want it in the first
paranoia.
place,
That's
if
right.
someone's coming in like, right, okay, I'm going to have to fucking deal with this because you can't ignore it.
No,
Yeah, because
not the kind
it's
of-
like a weed, yeah?
Yeah.
It's a weed, and that weed will grow. It's just got to get cut at the fucking... As soon as it emerges, this is a fucking tip for all these guys.
Prison
yeah?
survival advice tip.
Prison survival. If somebody tries to intimidate you, it's a weed. It's a weed that's coming up, yeah? You let that weed grow, it gets bigger, and it gets harder to cut. As soon as it appears, you got to fucking chop it, man. You got to chop
Did
it.
you have to chop a lot of weeds?
I'd agree with that, definitely, yeah. A few, Shaun, along the way.
Yeah. It's best to do it early, isn't it? That's what I've
That's
learned.
what I always done,
Sometimes
Chet.
I've
I'm
left
glad
it-
I did. Looking
Listen,
back in hindsight, I'm even glad I did.
Looking
'cause
back
it would
on
have
my
got
part,
very bad.
looking back on my part, I
Yeah.
used to give people a chance, which was a mistake because
Yeah.
that weed's getting stronger. And if I'd have eradicated it earlier, it would have been a lot easier job than doing it 6 months afterwards. It's like, oh God, I should have done this fucking 6 months ago, and then that job's 6 months harder. As soon as it appears, I say, cut it, man.
It's like a vine, that kind of stuff. If you let it infiltrate,
It'll spread.
it
man.
keeps going, it gets round you and it'll strangle you.
It's hard work then.
Sooner
And
rather
then it's
than
hard
later.
work to stop it then, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's easier to stop it as soon as it emerges. It's easier to
To
stop
create
as
a
soon as it
boundary.
emerges.
Yeah, to create a
Don't
clear
let
boundary.
it get its little vines around you, like you said.
Because it will
So, Stephen,
strangle you.
how do you balance what Chet said, giving people a chance, with having to make an example? What's the line that you draw?
I always, for us in them prisons, in the dispersals in the UK, one of the things was I'd always keep round my group of people. That was the best thing. This is why people have food boats and stuff like that, because they know who they're with, they train together, they stay together, they back each other up, they stay away from a lot of madness that way. And plus people are, they say, oh, they're with them, they just leave you alone. So it's better to have a name than be someone who don't.
Yes.
But there's another cut side to that where there are that little fringe who are beyond the pale, right? And sometimes if they take a disliking to you or whatever, but these are the ones you need to make an example with. So when I'd get, I'd never have no trouble with anyone who wasn't me or even more than what I was. I wasn't that way. I didn't want ag. But I wasn't taking no shit from no one if they was going to threaten my life.
That's the same as me.
Do you know what I
don't want
mean?
it. I don't want it, but if you're going to come at me,
What choice do you have in a
well,
place
you
like
don't
that?
really do.
Because these people,
Yeah, you don't.
they kill you, these people.
Yeah.
I see terrible things
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
So you have to choose.
Yeah.
You have to choose.
So what is the selection process for you to decide who to click up with, who you're going to be safe with?
For us, for me, I'd known a lot of people who I'd done work with, organised criminal stuff and all that before, in London and all that. Or, you'd either work with people, or they'd work with people you'd work with, or they'd gone to school with someone, or they knew someone, you knew someone, and you knew. So you was vetted in that sense. They knew exactly who you was. They knew your family. They kind of knew your history, and this was the bond, because there was no getting around that.
Is that the same
You know
for
what
you?
I mean?
Well, yes, but me, I was a bit of a lone wolf, you know. I didn't really work with other people. Well, I did afterwards on my second sentence here. Vetting people, yes, I knew who they were. They were operating for years and years. I knew who they were. They were like, I knew the styles, yeah. You can't just walk into anybody fresh. Nobody fresh can walk in neither. Can you say, who the fuck are you? Where have you come from?
Yeah,
Who's your
absolutely.
family, you know? No one knows you before. I've had this now. I don't know about you, but people trying to like get close to me and stuff, yeah?
Dangerous. Isn't it?
Yes, and they have links with grassers, certified ones as well. They're their mates, I know, and I'm just getting a bit like scared. I'm thinking, stay the fuck away from me. I'm not doing no wrong here, but you obviously think I am doing something wrong. Because why are you sniffing around me for? I don't fucking get it.
This is another reason, Shaun. When you're in that life, it's so serious, and the connections and the relationships, that it really is a life or death. You're walking in places you don't know if you're walking out. So you're very mindful of being set up. And if you don't know someone, it could be anyone. And, you know, and you are a target criminal in your thing. So they are going to come with that. So how do you tell what's what? I mean, you know, it's
So to have that mindset then for over 20 years. I mean, I only did 6, and I was thinking if I did 10.
That's hard work for a 29.
I was thinking if I did 10, I would be insane. I was thinking if I did 10. 20,
You still got
constantly thinking like that. How do you come out then and adjust? Because you must like have a paranoia. I mean, I like to sit with my back against the wall in a restaurant or a pub to this day, but for 20 plus years, I can't imagine.
Look, the truth is, it was an unbelievable process. For me, my hatred kept me going. All I had was my self-respect. You know, you're talking about the lowest primitive feelings here, where having a bar of soap and being able to read a book is, wow,
Yes, it
this
is.
is your
Yes, it is.
highlight.
Yes, it
You know,
is.
this is the
it
feeling
is.
that makes you human.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it doesn't get, you know, but outside that door, there's madness, and you're not going away from it. You can't hide from it. It's there. It's constantly there, and the years stretch out. So for me, at the end, you know, and I said this the other day, it was so bad. The hatred kept me going, surviving, kept me strong. Even moving around, I used to like moving around. I did.
Did you?
Because it would break it up. Because I was, you know, the times you think you're going off
Maybe,
your...
yeah,
Nah,
maybe-
don't worry about that. But it's the truth,
Maybe
right?
clear it up, yeah.
But in the end, you know, thankfully, towards the end of that sentence, I knew, I was intelligent enough to know that I was actually destroying myself. I thought, you know what? I was like the Walking Dead shit. I used to walk them landings and they'd sucked every bit of emotion out of me. It's just a horrendous way to be. But then I realised in the end, I thought you are destroying your own self unless you sort yourself out here, because you're getting out soon. To get back to being a human being again, it was
Yeah.
really that process.
Normal thinking. Normal fucking thinking.
And it's a long way
to
back.
deal with normal people, yeah?
It's a long way back
Not
from where
dealing
you
with
are
like
at that point.
killers, rapists and screws. You got to deal with normal people.
Yeah.
When you go to Greg's and stuff like that, sometimes I'm difficult. I don't fucking know, yeah. But sometimes I struggle, you know?
Might sound stupid, but it's the little things.
Dealing with normal people.
Yeah.
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 It's how they look at you and this and that, and then I don't know myself neither. But these are normal people, so I think, right, okay, I've got to speak normally now. You have to change your manner, demeanour, you know? Because, right, I'm talking to normal people now. I'm not talking to a screw or a fucking this or that.
Yeah, it's a whole different.
Right, okay, and then you have to like...
What year were you released?
2002.
Do you still have like flashbacks,
202.
nightmares, paranoia?
I do, yeah, I do. Shaun, for me, it's like I've come to term it spiritual warfare, because I'm so much in the light. You know, I am so much a different person from what I used to be them years. But it still sends me stuff. Mad, I think, fuck off. Why are you showing me that? It's like mad stuff.
Do you know what this is, yeah?
It's like a flashback.
Do you know what it is, yeah? I think, yeah? The spiritual thing, yeah? It's
like
because
spiritual warfare.
your mind, yeah, you've had that long for it to sink in. People on the out, they got to go to work. I've got to go here. I've got to go pick my kids up. I've got to go fucking Asda. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Bam, bam, bam. You don't have time to get anything spiritual into yourself. But you had that fucking mega time. And that's
Very
sorted
profound.
you out in a way.
Yeah, it's profound. It's a profound
Because there's
thing.
loads of people now on a day-to-day basis, they don't get any spiritual time whatsoever because I've got to go get my kids. I've got to do this, do that, blam, blam, bam, 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 bam. Fucking EastEnders is on, this is on, that's on. Right, I've got to bath the kids, go to sleep, wake up. But you had that time. That saved you that time. It's a sim on my part, I think. Spiritualism, yeah, it's like, just like let it all sink in, yeah. It's like what's meant to be is meant to be. And it's working out, I think. For me, it's working out. I don't know about your part.
There's a journey here, and it's very profound.
Yeah.
And we would look. Let's face it. They can say we wouldn't be where we was if it hadn't have been where we had been.
No.
Many don't come back from. They don't come back from what we've been through.
No.
I feel very privileged and very grateful.
I am as well.
I'm very courageous, but we've been forged in a certain way, Shed.
I know, but
this cannot be just by chance. I don't buy that.
But that does take the alpha male to come out on top.
It takes a lot
of the rest of the fucking shit there.
Yeah, it takes.
You got to just rise on top of it and deal with it, and then it gets easy. But it's that process.
Absolutely.
That process ain't hard. That process is hard as fuck. There's very few men who can walk that process.
Yeah.
So you reached a point where you became known as one of Britain's most disruptive prisoners, Stephen. Spent 4 years in units and 4 years on continuous assessment, the ghost train. And then dirty strikes. You want to tell us about dirty strikes with other prisoners like Alan Lord?
I thought of Alan when you said about the dirty strike, because the last time, the one I remember was down in Full Sutton, a separate time than the time I talked about with Charlie. And I was on this side of the landing, and Alan was over there. And this was after we'd been in the unit together. So we'd been on the wings or something, but then, we'd come back, we'd ended up in segregation again, and he was over there, and they was treating him very badly. And but look, what you're talking about is being at such a primitive state of such a violent, where they're torturing you mentally, spiritually, physically. Not all of them. You get some, but they're just normal. Yeah. But what you tend to find in them places,
some screws that are normal. I like that one.
They might start normal, but then they change over time.
I know. And then they get sent to Wakefield. Screws there. I can't imagine the screws in Wakefield, mind.
Huh?
I can't imagine the screws there. I heard stories about it, because I was in Wheelstone, here, there, roundabout area. Wakefield itself, as a town, is shit in it. Right? You
I've
only
never
know
been there.
Wakefield for the jail. Yeah. Wakefield, when somebody says Wakefield Football Club, have they got a football club, I think?
Or is it rugby?
I don't know. But it's
Sounds like a rugby
fucking
league
shit town, but they've just made this fucking horrible bastard jail there.
Notorious.
Yeah. They made the bastard jail there where you will get a hard time. And the screws up. I can't imagine the screws there, mind. Yeah. How were they with you in there, screws? Did you?
Not nice.
Yeah.
Waiting for me. Waiting for me and not nice.
Bastards, man. The bastards, man. They got big lumps as well.
All big lumps.
Yeah.
So they're all picked.
They're
all
fit. They can't wait to roll.
Fit fuckers.
They can't wait.
They're not the skinny ones.
They can't wait to roll.
They are a unit in there, man. And they let you know that when you come down there. This is the introduction, right?
What was the worst reception you had from them?
I've had a few, bad ones. It usually ends up, the bad ones are, they're very growly, they're primed, and it doesn't last long, and you end up fighting with them. You're in the strip cell and they're bedding you up, and that's sooner rather than later. Probably the next day, maybe the same night when because it's a couple of, yeah.
So why the dirty protest of Alan Lord?
Down there, I forget exactly what it was, to be honest, but they was treating us so unfair. And what we done first was we actually went on a bit of an hunger strike, I remember.
Did you?
Yeah, and then we talked and we
How
said,
many
hold
days?
on a minute.
How many days
Someone,
did you
not long, Sandhu. I think it might
Yeah,
have been 5,
because you probably
6
got-
days. But someone
6
with
hours
some
probably.
sense.
You probably got sick of this shit.
2 minutes. No,
Listen,
no, it was
a hunger
days.
strike,
Yeah.
People go on hunger strikes, yeah, listen to me. I just think you are fucking your body up, yeah?
Absolutely.
Do not do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do not.
That is the worst thing to do in the world, isn't it, really? Because then they're thinking, right, look at the state of this fucking gimp now.
Now we're going to take a liberty.
Right, no.
Now we'll go in and take a liberty.
Oh, God, they will just...
This is what we said,
You
Shaun.
can't even raise a fist at them, man. They will just go like that, slap you in your face like that. Hunger strike, the last thing to do.
No, you're
Dirty
right.
protest, okay, fair enough.
So did you
And
start?
you-
Did you start to feel it after 6 days?
Absolutely. You
of
feel
course you
that
fucking
after
do.
about... I felt it after about 24
Of course
hours.
you do, man.
But you
Of
know
course
what?
do,
Do you know what? I was a bit of a voice of reason. And there was others. We said, look, exactly what you said, Chet. This is not our best thinking.
Yeah.
Because we're weakening when we need to be strong.
Weak, yeah.
Let's come with something else.
Yeah.
And it was spot on, I mean,
yeah.
so we've done that. And they was bastards down there. They was coming in and there was fighting down there, the shills and the mufti, and we was in and out the box and in and out the box. And then they was telling me they was taking out your bed and then in and out the box. We said, fuck this, man. So, we was fuming down there. Alan was down there. He's a big lump, Alan. He's massive, right? I've never seen a stronger man, but he was on it. So they...
That would have been good fun that at the time. I would have enjoyed that if I was there.
we was talking all the time, me and Alan. He
How
was
long
my
did
buddy,
that carry on
right?
for? The dirty
About
protest?
2 weeks, I think, now.
Fucking hell.
So
And
take
then
us,
they
take
come
us,
down and they
Still
sorted it
hard
out
work,
a
2
bit.
weeks
They
is
started
hard
to
work.
give a bit,
Still hard work.
take us through the days of the dirty protest. What you actually did.
Yeah.
It's not to be advised is the first thing.
No, it's not to be.
I mean,
like,
this
oh,
is where
I
you're
wouldn't-
at.
I wouldn't dare.
The worst
Don't
place
try
in your
this.
life.
Don't try this, viewers.
It's where you're at rock bottom. When I think of that, you really are.
Yes, you're rock bottom, man.
You have, so the last tool
Especially
at
when
your
the hunger strike as
disposal.
well. Especially when you're trying to. Right, go on, yeah. So they are fucking. You cannot get any lower. Go on.
No, we just,
you
we
can't get
never.
any lower than shit, can you?
No, this is. You're really
what
in
you
trouble when
did.
you have to do it. But we'd have a little corner in the cell
Yeah.
where we'd sleep, we'd eat. But you'd paint
How
flowers.
many
and
people? How
vases.
many people are in the cell then?
Only
Flowers
one.
and vases.
We're cat age.
You made
so it's
out
only
with this
one.
shit. You did out with this shit. He said.
I do
Flowers.
Ah, it's flowers.
Flowers.
Do a vase and a fireplace and some stuff in there.
See,
Make it look
they
right.
made art. Wow.
We had
I've never heard this.
Hello.
This is brilliant.
we had prison guard Neil Samworth on the podcast. Prison guard Neil Samworth. I'll put it in the description box if you're watching this. And he said to stop the dirty process, they came up with a plan. Now the smell of your own shit is the smell of your own shit, but
Can't
the smell
smell
of
it.
but
Yeah.
the smell of someone else's shit.
Someone
So
else.
they let the guys out to go somewhere, and when they put them back, they put them in each other's cells, and they stopped. They stopped right away after that.
I know that will make you
They
stop.
stopped.
won't it? I
Yeah.
know,
I've never
I know
had
it was
that.
it.
Yeah,
You know what it's like if you take
Yeah.
a shit in your toilet, yeah?
Yeah.
You walk back in, right, but okay, it's all right, yeah? Brush your teeth and whatever. But if somebody else says, you go, fuck, what the fuck is that? You know that, yeah? Somebody else's shit, you can't handle somebody else. Is that what they did? Switch cells with the bastard. They're fucking cunts, aren't
that's
they?
what I did.
They give up.
They must
They
have
give
given
up.
up. They must have given up, didn't they?
Yeah, they get right away.
Right away. Well, they're banging on, please. I'll stop. I'll stop.
Crazy.
This is brilliant. That'll be a good film scene. That, you know, when they're doing that, they're sticking with somebody else's cell. There you go.
So how many days were you with your shit flowers on the walls? How many days did you do that?
Oh,
2 weeks, he said.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Then they started to.
Even your own
Give a
smell
bit.
after 2 weeks must start to
You must have got
wear
used
you
to it,
down,
though.
or you just get used to it.
I think this is the first
You get used to it. Yeah, you get
think
used
first
to
year's
it
hard.
because there's bigger. bigger mental bridges to cross with
Yes,
these lot.
yes,
bigger fish to fry.
yes,
so it's just fuck you.
Yes.
Right. So
It's only your
it's
shit.
my
It's
shit.
only your shit.
You know, if I have to stay like
It's
this, I
only
know,
Peter's fucking shit.
I know it's causing a uproars. Because they've got to come with all the gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time,
Because they
and
can't-
they've
yeah,
got to
and it's
do all.
such a
It
hassle.
causes mayhem.
Such a hassle.
Have you got to add a new layer of freshness every day?
Oh God. And of course they don't want to come in and bash you when you like that.
Yeah. Have you got it on you as well?
No. But I know
Did you
people have
put it-
done
yeah,
that.
no.
But
That
they're
was
not
my
going to
question.
rush in there.
Yeah.
That was my
They
question.
usually leave you.
That was my question. Did you put it on you? I wouldn't have done that myself.
No, I didn't.
Right,
do that. I
okay.
knew people who had done
Cool
that.
guy, yeah. No,
I put the baby oil on, Chet. Said right.
Oh, that one, yeah. But
you
not
know,
you don't
But
shit.
not nah. But I know people who've done that.
Yeah,
They was
yeah.
in a bad way.
Yeah.
And they was getting some proper
If you're
beatings.
cooking, yeah.
So they thought,
They have
you know.
to do that.
So why did that dirty protest end?
The governors I can't think 100%, but they started to relent because the governors started to come down. Basically, they give us something, which was what we wanted. So in them places, when you get your little victories, you take them, and they mean a
Yes.
lot because they don't give them
Yeah,
victories
no,
out.
No.
They don't
Very
give them
rare,
out.
man.
So when they do,
Very fucking rare.
you say, okay,
Yeah.
prove
And
the
you say,
point
okay,
here.
right.
Yeah, I'm happy with that,
Nice one.
and it
Yeah.
helps.
Let's move on, yeah.
It helps, It really
What
does.
led to you oiling up? What was the situation?
Oh God, I think this was in Whitemore, and again, that was just a horrendous block. They was really going at it. I mean, they was in and out of themselves all the time. They wouldn't think twice about coming mufti again in and out of the strip cell, in and out. Sometimes twice a fucking day, shit. In the end, you say, do you know what? People lose it. They say, okay, if this is the game we're playing, we're going to play it. Sometimes you want to beat it to calm you down. That's the truth.
Yeah.
How crazy
Yeah, I know
it
it
gets
is. I
into
know
your
it is.
head.
Sometimes
You think,
need
all
a
right.
licking. I'll say I'm going to go for this.
Yeah.
Bang, I'll be out for about 12 hours afterwards. But at least it'll fucking
Crazy
settle my head
madness.
a little bit.
But
At
the
least it'll
truth.
settle my
But the
fucking
truth.
head.
So you're oiled up, and then what happens?
Well, I was down the path by then, and it was, they just come in, and it was the shields and all that. What they do with them shields is they come in the door like that, and then they move across, right? So they've got a wall,
Yes.
and then they'll try and batter you into the corner,
It's like
yeah,
that,
and
innit?
come in here. So a few times, I'd get over the shields and I'd pull it, but they can't get you when you're wrapped up with, So you'd have a chance to do something. At least it'd go on longer, but they'd always get you in the end.
Oh, yes.
And they'd give you an hiding,
That's
and
always
they'd throw you in the
inevitable,
strip
but
cell
I think it's just
again. Yeah.
It's like, come on, then let's go now for a little
Did they
bit.
generally knock
I
you
know
out?
I'm gonna get fucked up.
No,
you
but
get
I
fucked
used to, they used to be very heavy-handed with me sometimes.
You
So
know
it
you're gonna
wasn't
get fucked up,
playing games.
but you just go, let's go for it. You know you're gonna get a fucking lick in here.
It makes you like that shit in the end. I promise you, it does. It makes you like that. There are times you say, you know what, all right, fair enough.
Did you want to blow off steam like that?
In jail, I do it on the out now with the feds. Yeah, when they try and take me in custody now, this happens in custody. They try and take me in. It's just a way to treat me. Dragging me, doing that, give me fucking elbows and I abuse them. And then they give me a fucking kicking, tasing me, naked, and they drag you around. But I will fight back at that time, yeah? But this is police custody now, happening now to me, In jail, my experiences there, they won't let my man's here, yeah? Okay? I just sort of played their little game, played their little system. I didn't try and bring any guns in or nothing like that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly bringing the guns in, yeah? I didn't try any of them moves, so I think that helped me, yeah?
Yeah.
But I was still cat A. Just because the fact that they thought I had money there. So you get the cat A treatment, but that's fine, But no, I never got bashed up. I didn't get bashed up. But I wasn't doing a 20 stretch. If I was doing a 20 stretch here, my mindset will be totally different as well.
It is a change.
There's me, yeah.
'cause
There's
you
me.
are
7 I got, yeah?
trapped.
A 7, you think, okay.
Big time.
7's okay, I'll be out in 4. Yeah, so you think, right, okay, I'll do that. I'll just keep my fucking mouth shut if I can. And I'll just try and walk the 7. But a 20, you think, fuck you. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's different.
Isn't it? It sends your mind a bit fucking stupid. It's like, how dare you give me that fucking sentence, you cunts? What the fuck have I actually fucking done here? What innocent people have I fucking hurt here? I might have took off the government or this, off a bank or this or that. But what the fuck? Why do I get a 20 fucking stretch? So then listen to me, if I got your sentence, I would be exactly the same as you. Believe me, I know this.
The day you got your sentence, were you expecting it?
I was, Shaun. Funny thing, I kind of always knew I was going to get a lump. I didn't know how. Trial, yeah, not guilty. I didn't know how, but when they gave it to me, I got it. My
but then
code
they
was
give a bit
there.
extra on top, aren't they?
Yeah, we
Because
got
they know
loads
who
of
you
years.
are. Yeah, they're all right.
Years,
They're going to go, how dare you run a trial? So
God,
normally
that
it
was
would have
some
been
story.
15, but they're probably giving it a 5 on top.
Well, before we get to that story then, we got you at Woodhill CSC, the death of your friend and scouser Lenny Turney by Matthew Wainwright in the close supervision centre for Britain's most dangerous prisoners. What was it like there, the people and the murder?
Woodhill CSC is called the Close Supervision Unit. Now, the government then had spent, I think it was something like 15 million to build this gaff for us. Now, this was a different gaff than Hull. This kind of come after. It was a new initiative. Where they brought in the standard and they started to split and divide? This was around that time. They said, right, we're just going to smash them into submission now. They behave, we give them a bit. They don't, they go down, we give them nothing. So there was 4 units on there. Now, in the middle unit, you had a concrete plinth on the floor, Shaun, which was about a foot off the floor on a fucking slant, man. So you'd go, all the corners of the room were smooth, rounded. What kind of a place is this, right? But anyway, you try and sleep with a little thin mattress. So you try and sleep.
It's not even a mattress, it's a sponge, innit? It's a sponge.
Well, it's a thin
Like a
thing,
yoga
right?
mat.
I wouldn't even call it a mattress, it's a sponge, yeah.
But you try and sleep on one, on one side, Shaun. You'd get a dead arm and have to switch round to the other side. So this was it. So they had these different units. There was 4 of them. And if you behaved after 3 months, full of psychologists, they give you a bit more and you got a bit more. If you didn't, you went down. At the bottom, it was like the cages. You was fed like a dog. You didn't come out the cell. So the lads who went there, who got selected there, ended up going up, down, down, up, down, 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 down. It's a crazy place. So when it come to Lenny Tierney, I like Lenny. He was a really good lad, Lenny, right? He was a Scouse lad. He was well liked. He had good values. He was a stand-up guy. And I like Matthew as well, Matthew Wainwright, from Manchester. He was a good guy as well. But they had a falling out. Remember that we talked, and they was friends. Right? But you see how this can turn. And magnified in them places, people think, is he setting me up? Is he mugging me off? What's he going to do? I'm going to strike before maybe he's going to
Yes, that's
strike
the one.
me.
Who's going to strike first?
Yeah.
That's the one, isn't it? You have to strike
Yeah.
first, don't you, really? Because his strike is going to be dangerous.
Well, this is the thing,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
This is the thing that goes on
Yeah.
right there, right? And what happened was, on that unit, there was about 7 people. But Matty, he was arrested for this as well. He was arrested for this because there's cameras all over the gaff. This ain't somewhere there. Everywhere's cameras, so everything. But, he had a PP9 and a shock, and there was some kind of fight. I have no doubt he didn't want to kill Lenny. He wanted to stop him or protect himself or hit him. He hit him with a battery, but Lenny's skull was one of them that was so thin, and it killed him. And it killed him.
Steroid taker.
Steroid.
Was he?
Steroids.
No, he weren't.
Wasn't he?
No, he wasn't.
That normally,
Yeah, no.
that normally
no.
fucks your bones up,
Yeah, he used to
Yeah,
train, but
yeah.
he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Steroid taters,
Yeah.
The things are blood, the bones are like thicklish. But okay, he must have hit him fucking bad then.
I mean, that was a real shame. This place was a mad gaff. Charlie was there as well. They do really fucked up things there. Like you'd be there, and they do stuff like this. Say, like on a Friday, you'd get fish and chips, right? That could be the highlight of the bump, Shaun, even though it was shit. But they'd come round and they'd put sugar in the salt container. Do you know, think because they wanted to keep pushing you, to keep seeing where you was at. The worst thing was you wouldn't talk to them because they didn't know what was going on in your head. It's a fucking crazy place, man. This was a crazy place. So they do stuff like that, you know, and then you'd hear people, they close the door, they go, you fucking, so they, you know, be smashing the cell up and all, but they'd set it all up, right?
Yeah.
And all that. It was a crazy. 2 years I was there. I was happy to get out of there. It was another strange place.
Yeah.
Was that the worst place?
It wasn't. There was many. It wasn't the best. It was fucked up for sure. But there was worse times. There was bad times there.
Yeah. Get it. Yeah.
But it wasn't the worst. Wakefield and places like that
Yes,
were.
I know.
You know, I mean, I would have
It's just
rather
that-
went there any day than
What makes
go to
it worse,
Wakefield.
I would say, yeah, is the people fucking around you.
It's always the
It's,
people. shit.
it's not
It's always the people.
where you are. It's what's around you. Oh God, fucking hell. You could be in a bad jail, but around decent lads, and it's okay. Yeah, but you could be in a good jail around fucking horrible cunts.
So true.
Yeah,
We used to say
Yeah.
that. We used to say that. Look, it's not the place. We could be in a 5-star.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But if you've got people around you are not good
Like
and you're
that,
not,
no, it's
then
horrible,
it's
isn't it?
bad. But
It's
you could be
disgusting,
in the worst shithole.
Yeah.
If you've got your
And
pals
yeah,
around
you're
you,
all right.
you're cool.
So as a southerner, would you rather be in the south?
Absolutely. This was another trick they pulled on me, Shaun, because I was a bad nuisance. I was on the Northern Circuit for 5 years because they wanted to just break you. You know, I mean, Durham, you know, all of the Cardiff, Walton, you know, all them places. Franklin.
Franklin as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Round and round and round.
Loads of my mates are in Franklin at the minute.
Yeah, Frank. I was in Franklin twice.
Yeah.
Twice in Franklin. Franklin was okay. I
Yes,
didn't
yeah,
mind.
yeah, it's-
Franklin was a good
Because people
jail,
say
really,
to me,
to be
there's
honest.
like heavy kids there, but the schools are okay.
They're okay. It's
Yeah.
dispersal shit.
They don't like really
Rock
work
the
you.
boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
They leave you alone in there
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you know you
yeah.
got.
Did you get along? Did you get along with the Scousers in Walton?
Generally, I did. Yeah, you know. I mean, look, you know, I had friends from all over. I really did. People would fall out, but they would fall out anywhere. It wasn't because of where they come from. I meet wonderful lads from all over the country. Really.
So you got a story about a Liberian murderer and the prison officer melted with hot cooking oil. This is one of the most notorious prisoners in the dispersal system, Ferdinand, threw oil over a guard. But there's much more to it. You saw him nearly killed and attacked by a hit squad of Scousers, and he died 3 times on the way to the hospital. Fucking hell.
This is quite a character. Ferdinand Leveld, his name is, right? Leveld. And he's like, you know, big, dark, Liberia. He comes from in the Civil War. Found his way over here. He was a bouncer. He stabbed someone here and ripped him right. This is what he got his life for.
Gutted somebody.
Literally.
But that's probably what he used to do in Libya, you know? So it's probably used
Well,
to
this
that
is the
shit.
history.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
where he come
yeah,
from,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's brutal over
yeah,
there,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So he comes here, you know, anyway, he gets a life sentence. But he stabbed a friend of mine in the back, Charlie, in Brixton.
A different Charlie.
Yeah, this is a different Charlie. But he was well liked, Charlie. You know, he was an armed robber from London and he was well connected and he was well liked. So
Why did he stab him?
there was some kind of big fight in there and he picked on the wrong guy. He really did. Because this followed him all the way through a sentencing. He had hit squads coming for him for what he'd done for Charlie 10 years later.
Right, okay.
Because Charlie was well liked.
Yes.
He really was. He was
And
right.
he's just a fucking Libyan nobody.
Did he kill Charlie?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. But he stabbed him in the back, and that didn't go down too well.
Oh, was it in the back?
In the back, he stabbed him
not
in the
good,
back.
man.
Yeah. So
That's
there we
not
go.
good.
You know,
You ain't gonna get no
You're
respect
just,
on that shit.
you know. But look, he was a dangerous guy. This guy, right? He used to walk around with a tissue box. He'd always have this tissue box, but he had a knife in there under the tissues. That's why he had it. You know, I swear to God, you know. Then he had, you know, he'd have the batteries in a sock that was plotted up.
Right.
He'd have knives everywhere.
Fully tooled. Regular.
But you see this guy shit.
Yeah.
There's one thing I'd say about this guy. He would still come back on the fucking wing. He had some bollocks. I mean, people wanted this guy dead. But do you know one of them? He'd still come back on the wing. But he'd be walking around with all this weaponry. So, right. This is
the
a
craziest.
dangerous guy, mate.
This is one of those craziest stories.
But it's weaponry you can get in jail. You can get loads of weapons, really, yeah?
Yeah.
Batteries in a sock, this in a sock, tiles broken off a fucking thing, smash them up, put them in a sock. There's loads of tools. If you want to make a tool and you want to walk around with them daily, which is what you was doing. It's amazing walking around daily with them.
Easiest way to get the metal for a knife.
I see mad tools in there. Spikes used to be the most, like a stiletto spike, a lump of metal like a spike.
Yeah.
Or do you know the other ones they used to get? Do you know the old boxes, Shaun, the travel boxes? Round the top of them, there's like a really thin bit of metal, and they would break that and sharpen it. It was deadly. Kids got killed with that one day. Absolutely deadly. Yeah. It's like a long stiletto spike, right, sharpened.
But in Spain, the tool there, yeah, what they used to do, yeah, toothbrushes, yeah, the lighters were there. We could all smoke in that. There were loads of lighters, and we used to get the blade. You know the one razor, the Bic? Toothbrush, bam, with the heat, melt it, you get the blade, and then you stick the blade in the plastic, and it's set, and you got a fucking lovely little tool, you know? Lovely little tool. Because you got to shave in jail, and you got to brush your fucking teeth. And you are allowed to smoke as well, so you have all three components to make this fucking weapon.
So the librarian murderers got multiple weapons strutting around.
I don't know how he was walking about all this shit. We're just hanging out with points on that.
But I see him one day, listen to this. So anyway, he, Long Lartin this was, Long Lartin,
Yes.
right, in the TV room. He was a bully. But he was the type of bully, he wouldn't pick anyone of any strength. He'd pick his target. I hate them. So he was bullying this kid. He was bullying this kid who could be bullied, and he kept needling him. But this kid was on a food boat with a couple of tasty guys who, they weren't having no bullshit from no one like that weren't right. So he was with them, and this was the thing. So anyway, I'm in the TV room, I'm watching the telly, and the door goes wallop, and they're there, right, hit squad. When they come, they come. One of them's got a pot of hot oil. That's just for starters. They've all got knives. There's 4 of them, all balaclavaed up and all that. In the door, crash. He's up because he gets it. He knows it's him, right, by the silhouette of the people, and he knows what he's been doing, right? So he jumps up with a tissue box and all that. They give him the hot oil, and I remember all his arm was, they got him here, it was melting. But he was fighting for his life. There was like a pack of hyenas around him. Now there's 4 of them. What chance have you got? So he's got a knife, but they get him in the end, and they're stabbing him, and he goes down on one knee. Of course, he's in trouble now. Because now they're on him like a pack of dogs, and they just obliterated him, left the TV room. But he died 3 times on the way to the hospital there, and lived. Again. This guy's been stabbed a few times like that, and lived again, Shaun.
Where did he
Crazy.
go after that?
Huh?
Where did he go after that? Hospital, obviously, you stayed, yeah?
They come, he's out to the hospital. He died 3 times.
And then he went
and then
somewhere
they put him in. He was in the... He'd
didn't
keep
go back
going
there,
back.
obviously, yeah.
No, it's too dangerous, right? They
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
But they take him some. I don't know where he went after that, but with characters like him, if he would want to go back in the wing, they'd give him a chance under his own.
He must have got a
and then
right
the screw
old
thing
fucking
happened,
lick, right.
And had he thrown oil over an officer?
Yeah. So this is afterwards, right? This is in Whitemore. There was a screw there. It was a job's worth. He wasn't too bad. I mean, it depends how you are. If you're a sensible guy, one of the chaps there, and there's things you do and things you don't do. You just want to do your bird and be left alone when you're good people on that wing. You don't want no bullshit. You know what the rules are. Yeah. Everything's cool and sweet. Yeah. But, this screw was a little bit, and he'd come on the wing and he'd take people's lines and he'd take stuff out of cells. Anyway, Ferdinand was there on the wing. So he kept needling Ferdinand for obvious reasons. But Ferdinand, one day, what they would do, the worst violence I've ever seen in prison was in the morning on them wings. People would be having a row for whatever reason. They'd get up in the morning, they'd put a pot on the stove, hot oil, pour it in there, and just leave it on all day, like burning plastic. And everyone would start getting a bit like, because they know what that means, right? They're not just cooking that because they're having chips.
Well, where'd you get the oil
You know, it's a
from?
warning, like, look,
Yeah.
no one don't know who's getting it or what, but there's something going on, right? So this pot was on the thing, you know, and the screw was on and off the wing, but Ferdinand, he got him. He come on, you know, he said something to Ferdinand. We was watching from the other landing. The screw fucked off. He didn't think anything of it. But when the screw come back, Ferdinand was waiting for him and he went wallop over the screw. Now, let me tell you something about hot oil. It's the most violent, and I've seen people killed in front of me, right? Really, a few times. But this is the most violent thing I've ever seen.
It's terrible.
Do you know what happens is, you would think they scream, but they don't. The shock of it, they don't. So there's silence as it melts, and then you hear the most horrendous fucking scream, man. So this screw, he bolted down the landing, right, Sandhu, ripping off his shirt and his disc, but he's melting, isn't he? And, yeah. He went down to the block, didn't he, Ferdinand, for that? I think he had three trials on that
On that one.
and got not guilty.
Not
How did you
guilty.
get
Honest.
on that?
They just kept him in the block. So he wasn't flavour of the month, right?
How do you get not guilty? Maybe no evidence or what? No other
3 trials
witness?
he had. 3
Witnesses?
trials. 3
Did the
trials.
screw have a witness? Did the
Not
screw have a
quite
witness?
sure exactly what was,
Yeah, maybe
what was
not.
the thing.
If the
you know
screw
what I mean?
doesn't have a witness, no, really.
But they can't come any more than 3 times,
Yeah.
apparently. That's it.
yeah, yeah,
Triple
yeah.
jeopardy.
A triple jeopardy. Case done. So many witnesses he has or whatever, it doesn't matter. Terrible, terrible, terrible. You know.
And where did they get the oil
Horrendous.
from?
You could buy it then, Shaun, because you could cook your own food.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
the-
yeah, you guys. cook
Back
your
in the
food.
day, right? I mean, they've kind of stopped this now because of this horrendous...
Boiling water, sugar.
that was the old one.
Yeah, that's where you can't get. If you can't get oil, that's how you do it.
You said you've seen a few people die in front of you. Was that in prison or out of prison?
Well, you know, in prison, yeah, you know, there was a few things in there, and you know, I see a few people stabbed in there, and they ended up dead. It was through other things. You would see that in them places. They was very, very dangerous places.
What was it stabbed over?
There was one guy who was downstairs on the ones, and he was playing his music loud. You know, it was like reggae
Oh, yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah.
So they said to him upstairs, "Listen, mate, do us a favour.
Yeah,
Do you mind keeping your music down?"
This argument, I've no.
What a blood clot,
yeah.
this and that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
said, all
I
right,
know
mate,
this
no
argument,
problem. So left it, went down again and said, look, mate, really, you just
Yeah.
keep it down a
Yeah.
little bit for us. You know what I
Close
mean?
your fucking door.
What are they? Pulled out a knife, didn't he? You're fucking dead. I said, sweet, mate, all right, cool. So then, you know, they went down there, you know, he got set up and he was set up, you know, and he come out with a knife. Someone grabbed his, while the other person went in, they knew what he was doing. His insides was hanging out. He went and laid on the bed and he ended up dying. That was one, but there was a few, you know, you'd see
He
stuff
didn't
like
open his
this.
mouth, no?
Huh?
He didn't open his mouth. He didn't grasp. He just took it.
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
He died. He died. This is over the fucking music being loud and the landing, man. But it was more than
Was there a
that.
murder
Because
charge
he
on
pulled
this?
a...
Was
Huh?
there a murder charge happening on this?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff over this, yeah. People, yeah.
Somebody get nicked on that?
Yeah.
Convicted?
Yes.
Right. Okay,
Yes.
fucking hell. Right. Fucking.
Oh, there's a few.
yeah.
There's a few, really.
I know, but that
there's
happens
a few
over
of
that.
these. Yeah.
What used to annoy me was that fucking techno. In Durham. You know Durham, yeah. You know that techno and they used to play it. I went, close your fucking door. I don't need to hear your shit, yeah. That techno, you know, when it's like emceeing over it, you know, when they go, "Nom, nom, nom, nom," you know, that horrible music.
Yeah.
What's a million
Not my-
miles an hour, you know
It's
that?
not my cup of tea. It must be
yeah,
honest.
and then the
Especially when it's too
emceeing over
heavy.
it, you know, that Chava music.
In America, it's all headphones.
Is it?
You can't hear any voice TVs or
No, there
stereos.
you're allowed a little fucking speaker system, aren't you?
It's all
And it
clear
echoes
plastic.
in the walls, but it echoes in the walls and leave the door open. It goes all around the wing.
Everything's clear plastic, so you can't stash anything in it. Is it clear plastic in the UK?
No, that's interesting. No.
No, the UK, if you
such.
order something, it's got to come off them.
Yeah,
jail.
and they go through
You
all
can't
that.
get it sent in.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The
You
commissary.
order-
The commissary.
You order
Yeah,
off
yeah.
them,
The store.
and then it's a jail
Yeah.
what gives you it.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, next one then. Paul Brown and 3 fights over 10 years in the system. You had a feud with armed robber Paul Brown and your gang Ward, and they accused you also of stabbing him in the end. What happened there?
Paul Brown, he was a big, massive guy, right? He reminded me of Evander Holyfield.
Right.
He was that way, yeah.
Right.
He was that way, right? You know, he come from the Midlands. In Belmarsh at the start, I don't know what it was with me and him, but he just had it in for me a little bit, or we didn't get on. So he started the fight at the start. We was in a cell, right? Just sitting down talking. There was 3 of us. I'm sitting down in the bed talking to him. There's a guy who's kind of by the door, and he starts the fight. Shaun, he hits me. So we're up, and we're fighting. Now this guy is a massive lump, right?
Yeah.
He don't smoke. He don't do none of that stuff. You know, he's the kind of guy. Even heard he was shot before, and he just growled at them. Yeah. This is a very strong man physically.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
I'm in a cell. Now, you know, I mean, I'll give as good as the best of them. I was smaller than him, so I'm using speed. I'm going bang, bang, bang. But I couldn't move in there, right? So he just, in the end, he claimed me, Shaun, ran the neck, picked me up, right, Sandhu, off the fucking floor, threw me on the bed. I could feel this guy's hands around my neck for a week after. Honest to God. So we're fighting. He's taller than me, but I couldn't move to get around to wear him out or do anything. I was fucked. So in the end, he claimed me, and of course, I haven't got the strength for that because he's not going to let me go. So he gets me on the bed. So anyway, something happened. The guy at the door, he said, "Screws." I must admit, it was one of the times that I was okay to hear. Fucking hell, it's on top. Right?
I never thought I would hear this. I never thought I'd be thankful.
So we broke, right? We broke in the cell. I stand up, he's there like that, and I'm looking at the veins in this guy's neck. I think, this is a strong fucker, man. I'm thinking, this is not good. I'm going to need a tool for this guy, man. Because I can't beat him. He's going to kill me.
That's like the geezer. Durham wanted told me to go deal with, yeah?
Yeah.
Similar situation.
So anyway, listen to this. So he says, "Stop me." So I looked at him, and a fucking anger come over to me. So I ran over and I chinned him again. I was a fucking lunatic. So I chinned him again. Anyway, that really upset him. So now he's like a lunatic, and we're fighting again, right? But he says, on top, right? So we broke again, right? So I went, washed my thing in the sink really quickly, and just shot out. I went and just shot out, right? I thought, fuck this guy, man, right? So he started it, right? That was the first time. So there was this uneasy thing about it, and it was very serious, kind of a standoffy kind of a thing. I got moved, right? So anyway, I hear about this guy and all that. He gets 18 years for armed robbery. He's from the Midlands, right? So we end up in Full Sutton, right? I go there, and I hear he's on another wing. So, I'm with people there, so I think, okay, ask him to come down to the wing down. So he wouldn't come down there at the first because he knew I was a bit mobbed up down there. He didn't know what to expect. In the end, he comes down there, right? I felt a bit better about it because I got a couple of my friends there just to make sure that, I'll fucking fight him, but to make sure I don't get killed down there.
Yes,
and fucking, do you understand?
Yes.
So anyway, we're fighting in there, but I put him down, Chet. I put him fucking down in there, which was not, but he got back up, right, of course. And so we're fighting again, right? It's broke up. That's the second time. The next time was in Whitemore, right on the wing. And this was a lot more serious because I didn't want to ag with him on this wing at the time because there were certain faces on there who was friends of mine. And I didn't want to upset all the apple cart, and I wanted to stay there. I didn't want to be moved again and have to have a big ag with this fucking guy, right? But he, we kind of had a bit of a set to, and then what happened was we was out in the yard on the field, and I was walking around with a couple of people. I won't say the name, but very, very serious friends of mine, serious feelings. And I put my hand out to him, because he was known as well. And I said, look, Paul, he went to me, I don't want to fucking shake your fucking hand. Do you know one of them? I thought, you wanker, right? So I thought, okay, he kind of embarrassed me there and all that. I thought, you know what, see you. Well, I took it badly. That's the truth. I took it badly because I didn't have to do that, and he was giving it again, right? I thought we could have just left it as it was, yeah?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I was
Well,
brooding
yeah.
about that, I was brooding about
yeah.
that. But look, apparently what they said about him was, he was sitting in a TV room, and someone come in there and said to him, hi, Paul, party time, and, he got stabbed in there or whatever. He lived, he didn't lie, found it wasn't anything bad. But he got shipped off to Wing, and a few people got shipped, and that was the end of it.
You should have left it initially after it was done, but the cunt carried it on. But you gotta. It's like fucking hell. Jail. You just can't leave it, can you? You have to finish your job off.
It was a man's
You gotta
thing,
finish your job
right?
off.
He
gotta
took a
finish your job
liberty
off.
with me at the start.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but I still fought him. Whether I fucking lost, I wouldn't give a shit. It's important for me. I'll start and I'll fight. Win, lose, or fucking draw. I've done it the right way, but he wants to keep going, right? So that was bad, and then the dynamic that it was. But you know what? These things are done now. It's a long time in the past life for me. But when you go back, for the viewers, this is the kind of stuff, right?
This is what's gonna scare them from doing any crime, I think.
I hope so. Not a
This
good
is
life.
what we're all
Not
about.
to
at the end of the
be.
day, yeah?
Not to.
Hear our stories. Are
not
you
to
ready
be
for this
advised.
shit? Are you ready for any of this shit? So think about before you do anything.
We always have morals and life lessons for young people.
Well, yes. That's the whole point of this.
All right, so firearms and escape. Oh, shit.
It gets worse. I thought we were going to go something nice now where you go, firearms and escape.
Just warming up for the heavy stuff, people. Firearms and escape from Brixton's Special Secure Unit.
Brixton, that wasn't Brixton.
Where you and others were accused of trying to get in a 22 firearm to escape from the unit before the trial. A year or so after, two RA guys shot their way out and escaped into Brixton Hill.
Whoa. What year was this?
92.
Okay, early
92.
fucking now.
92.
Go on, yeah.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
We was... that was Ness and Quinn Living and Pierce McCauley. They went to the church and they got a gun. They went through 12 gates. 12 gates with a gun, with all the screws behind them. They let 2 shots go in the tunnel there by the unit, went over to where the dog handlers was, got on top of the dog's things, escaped into Brixton Hill. There was such a stink over there, Shaun. They were saying MI5 helped them to try and get them out because they wanted them to lead them to more people, and there was a big palaver with this, very deep shit. So this was the time, just after that, and we was there. Brixton was termed then as the most secure unit in the country. Belmarsh hadn't been built then. They was just building Belmarsh after then, right?
1991 I went there. 1991
We
I was
almost
there.
just missed each other.
Yeah.
Was you there, Chet? The sliding doors, the sterile area, up in the freeze, yeah?
No. I got bail. I was only there for a week. Yeah. I was only there for a week. But it was a terrible experience, mind. Mine was just nothing. I was only 21 years old. I was just a fucking kid. I had no fucking clue what I was doing. And go on, you finish your story. But listen, we just missed each other.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Funny that.
Yeah, it's not a nice place, Brixton.
How old were you then?
24, 25.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just missed each other then. Go on.
So how did the accusations come about?
You had, on the bottom there, you'd go in through the sterile area. Anything that comes in and out of that unit is all searched, sterile, clothing. You've got the kind of stuff you've got in the States where they lock the doors, but the central locking as well, all around the thing. So they'd lock, and then they'd lock, and it all clicks, and it locks the gate. I hadn't seen that anywhere else ever, in any prison there, right? It's like a prison in a prison. But, I was in my cell one day, and all of a sudden they started, I knew there was something up. When there's something up on the landing, because it goes all quiet, the whole regime stops, there's no noise, no movement. You think, what the fuck, man? What? You know, when's breakfast? When's nothing, all right? All of a sudden, looked out and I see a helicopter flying over the unit. Oh, that's fucking strange, man. I thought there's no way they have helicopters over this airspace. What's going on with this? And then the unit, so then they come, right? Now, they had come for people and took a lot of people, shipped them out to loads of different places. I didn't know that. I knew there was movement, but I didn't know what they was up to. And then they come for me, right? You know, so they come with me like a herd of elephants, all the boots, you hear them. You know, I come down. On that day, I had a legal visit. Right? My trial was coming up. I had defence, depths like this. They open the door and there's loads of them. Straight away I noticed something. No, there's about 10 of them there. POs there and everything, Shaun. SOs. I think, what are you coming to POs for, right? You're up to something. So I go down the stairs, at the bottom, I say, right, Gillen, we want to search your depths, blah, blah, raw, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, mate, you know, you're not searching my depths. This is my... Anyway, they wrap me up. Depths all over the place. There's a big fight down there. This is what they wanted, right? So they've wrapped me up, put me in the strip cell down there, all the rest of it. And so I'm thinking, how about my brief? Because he's here, right? I'm meant to be going to see him about, about my trial. I'm in the strip cell anyway, and they leave me there. And I'm thinking, what's happening there? But then they come back, loads of them. Take me down to this room, you know, in the unit. It's a big, long chamber. You've got the governor at the end of it. And I can remember his hand was shaking. I thought, what's up with these people? Right. So I come in, you're like, you know, you're sitting there, there's a screw there, so they're ready to pounce on you if you move too quick, and there's loads of them. He says, Gillen, we asked to search your depths under rule, blah, blah, blah. You refused, you were CNR'd, you was controlled restraint, you was put in a cell. We have intelligence, internal intelligence, that you're trying to procure a firearm into this prison to aid in an escape. So I just looked at him. Of course, you know, I've said nothing, Shaun. But his hand was shaking.
This is the heaviest offence in the world, mind.
But his hand was
there's
shaking.
There's nothing heavier
Shaun.
than this, is there? I don't think there's anything heavier. To try and get a gun into jail, I don't think there's any heavier, is there?
Taking a guard hostage with a gun.
But you got to shoot the cunt as well, yeah? If you're going to take it in, you got to fucking do it as well. I mean.
Disclaimer, the viewpoints of my guests do not reflect the viewpoints of
You
myself.
don't want to shoot the screws, yeah? Okay, cool, go on.
No, look, you know, I didn't know what they was on about, Shaun, right? You know, I didn't know what they was on about.
Yeah.
What transpired is, you know, they put me in the cell. So I said to him, look, you know, I want to see my brief. You know, my brief's out there. You know, I've got a legal visit. He said, Gillen, you will not be seeing that brief or any brief as far as we're concerned while you're here. So they was trying to say, I don't know what they was fucking trying to say. They was trying to say the brief was bringing it in, then someone else was bringing it in, then someone else, you know, one of them. So anyway, they say to my brief, look, there's a big legal war now. They're saying, look, we have to strip search you when you come in. He said, you're not strip searching me. But you can search me as long as you search everyone else. I said, well, we can't do that. So there's all this legal shit going. In the end, they let him through because he's, you know, he's legal, right? He knows what he's doing. But they ended up keeping me in the block there, right? This is the thing about the strike. They were so paranoid. I can remember one day I'm there, I'm in the cell, and this screw comes to the door. I hear him talking through the crack in the door, and he says, look, he says, I've got a family. He says, look, I didn't do nothing to you. You know, he says, I know you're going to get one in. He said, but look, I'm just a family man. I'm thinking, what? These people, and then he was gone again, right?
I know, but
you
the
know,
thing was
well, I
this,
knew
bro,
who it was, Shaun.
The thing,
right?
bro, yeah, every screw can be found as well, you know. Every screw that gives you a hard time can be found. Not that we're going to do anything about any of it, yeah? But you can all be found, yeah? Disclaimer, whatever, what you want to do. Let me take that on my toes, bro.
I'm just,
I don't give a
absolutely.
fuck about these screws.
I'm just.
I hate screws in the police anyway. Go on, just go on.
Disclaimer, it's good and bad in every profession. Views of guests do not reflect views of interviewer.
Well, okay, I'm only making a joke. Like, go on. Right, go on, Steve. Go, bro.
I'm just saying the story, right? Do you know? So that was the thing about it. But they moved me to Park. The funny thing about that was they moved me to Parkhurst, right, in the Isle of Wight. And there was all this.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
But there was all this cloak and dagger stuff to get me out of the prison. And when they got down to the ferry terminal, the starter motor went on the van. Honest to God. So they surrounded the van. It was fucking chaos, man. The phone's ringing, the screws are... It's crazy.
How was your reception at Parkhurst?
Good. Good. Parkhurst in the old days, in them days, I was on a proper wing with all the proper people. I was very young compared to them, but they was proper people, proper people. So they kind of, you know, they look after you and they know who you are. And, you know, I was younger then than them. But, yeah, cool. It was a good prison then.
What was
doable.
what was your Brixton story?
My Brixton story. I think I told you before. I've not told you this one
Go
yet.
for it.
Isn't it pathetic? Yeah, it's a fucking shit story actually, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Credit card fraud. I got nicked for. Yeah, 21 years old. Right? Okay. Credit card fraud. I was buying, going Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci. I was doing all checkbooks back then. Yeah, checkbooks. I was getting checkbooks with a well-known firm from Newcastle. I was working with them. I was getting the books. We were just doing checks, £100. Back in the 90s, it's okay. You know, you can work about $2,000 a day, right? So that's what I was doing. So I was in, anyway, I got nicked to Marks and fucking Spencer's, right? And all the security fucking come, the feds got me, they nicked me. And they nicked me in Kensington. They took me to Brixton. Oh wow! Listen, it's the first time really I've been like nicked, and it was all a bit of a shock of the system, right? And they put me in the fucking thingy first in this fucking room, and they're all black. All these kids were black, and I'm from Newcastle, just used to white lads here. So I'm thinking, what the fuck am I? Right? Why the fuck am I? Right? I'm not used to these people, right? Anyway. Interviewed me. They said, do you have any this, that, racial tension, blah, blah, blah. There was this other lad, Asian kid, yeah, he said, it's me. Just say that you don't like black people, right? And then they will put you in my cell. So you and me will go together. I went, really? I went, right, okay. Because all the rest were black and me and him were Asian, yeah? We got to share a cell. So I went, right, okay. I don't like black people. So me and him went in the same cell, right? Went in the fucking same cell. Slop out there, yeah? Brixton styles, innit? There's no toilet.
What
There's
a
no...
cause.
Yeah. You
What
got
a-
shit in
what
the-
a desolate
You said it's disgusting, mind. A dog, if you kept a dog like that, it's illegal now, you know?
Absolutely.
It's illegal. They will come arrest you if you keep a dog like how they
How
kept
they
us.
used to keep, yeah.
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 They would arrest you now. But anyway, we were shitting this fucking bucket. We had two. There's one for my water and one for my shit and piss. One's white, one's red. Don't know about you, yeah? Is that what you got? One
That's
white,
what
one
it used
red?
to be.
I think so, yeah.
Sandhu in the old
but
days.
I got
Two
a bit
bowls.
confused with it, right? You slop out in one place in a queue in the morning. You queue your fucking shit and you're smelling every next man's fucking shit in this fucking queue. Yeah. Do you know what it is, yeah? If you look back at the late
Horrendous way
80s,
to live.
the late 80s, the
Horrendous
late 80s, the early 90s, they were terrible in
environment.
jail, mind. And then the
Grim.
fucking, we're all stood there, one for the water, because we can fill our, because there's no taps in the cell. So you take your water for the day and you slop out, yeah? But I fucked it all up, yeah? I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was a 20-year-old kid. I was only little, yeah? Skinny-ish, fittish, yeah? But there's all these big black geezers around me. I go, what the fuck? Right? So I panicked a little bit, yeah? I slopped out, yeah? And the thingy for my water, I dropped that in it as well. In the slop out bucket, I dropped it in.
Oh.
And then all the kids started laughing at me. And they went, amateur, bro, blood, clown, motherfucker, you know what to do, yeah? And I was going, oh, God, I hope I don't get raped here now, yeah? Right? So I just got it, and I just washed it.
Oh.
But this is where every people puts a shit, and I drop my drinking cup in it. How embarrassing is that?
Did they leave you alone?
Yeah, because I made bail 4 days afterwards. Thank God to my dad who paid my fucking bail, yeah. Oh, fucking hell. That would have been a nightmare, mate, because I didn't have a clue at the time, you know. I'll be totally honest. Credit card fraud, yeah. Back then, I wasn't like a fighter, this, that. I was just doing a bit of fraud. Just a young kid from what I did. and all these black geezers were just looming over me. I going, oh. And I was going, oh God, what's going to happen to me now?
Brixton, what a place, God, what a place. But I'm thinking that in the old
Not
days.
even a tap, or a toilet in this.
Yeah, it was
It's
grim.
like, how can you keep somebody
Worse than a
with
dog.
no water and no toilet? And that's me. If you keep a dog, that's illegal, you know.
People are wondering, Stephen, how the hell did all this happen? You come on here, well-spoken, nice guy. You're in double A cat, which is, for the Americans watching, is like double Supermax.
Yep.
How did it happen? What in your life took you on this journey? How did it begin?
It's got to be dollar in it. Got to be money in it.
Oh,
Has to be money in it.
You know, it's funny, but I was born here, but I was taken over to Belfast as a baby.
When you say you were
As a
born here,
baby.
where were
I
you
was
born?
born here.
Where?
I was born in near Watford, Harrow way. Yeah, right. That's where I was born. But I was taken as a 6-month-old baby over to Belfast in the middle of the war zone over there in the early 70s. And I stayed there till I was 9. So, you know, I had all that upbringing there. But, you know, I had a good upbringing there. But there was a civil war going on. Tanks and bombs and riots and all that. So this was my first introduction to the world. You know, and then I come over here. You know, I was in East London. You know, I lived in London. I progressed to serious crime very, very, very early. But I was cast adrift in a way.
Very early.
Yeah, you know, I had to fend for myself. And, you know, I had a lot of kind of issues where I went through the care system. I went through horrendous stuff in there, you know, with the local authority.
So why were you in the care system?
Well, because I was kind of feral, Shaun, in them days. I had to fend for myself. So, of course, we go round to people who's kind of like us, you know, because we're looking to belong as a family. And, of course, we would do stupid things, get into trouble. We was only kids. Before you knew it, they took us. I was in a care order. You know, I was in, you know, it was like a prison then. But there was a lot of, you know, I was never sexually abused or anything like that. Although that went on in there, I'm sure. But it was physical abuse, you know, because I stick up for a lot of the younger kids in there. But they was fucking horrible fuckers in there. Because I ain't bullies.
Have to.
And then, of course, we would run away. We'd get in trouble. We'd come back. We'd run away. We'd go to London. And, you know, I went to prison when I was 14. Detention centre was my first time. 14. They put it off because I was so bad I needed to go away. 14. And then I progressed to Borstal. And, you know, I was very fit. I used to box. I used to do stuff. I used to keep myself in check. And, you know, I started to get in a lot of trouble and started to get moved and kicked out of places and then progressed into serious crime very, 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 very early.
You started early, though. This is me, 14.
Yeah.
I didn't start till 21, really. So work that out as well. You started...
What was the offence
way
at 14?
Way too early.
What was your offence at 14?
I can't really remember, but it was stupid things like nicking cars and getting chases. Stupid stuff. Stupid nonsense stuff. I was just a kid. I didn't know, you know. Which was... But people ask me a lot of this, Shaun, you know, because, you know, I've gone on now. I'm a businessman. I'm a peace ambassador. I do a lot of stuff. You know, won a lot of awards. You know, I've got a book coming out, as you know, and a film and different stuff. But people always say this, when was the epiphany? When was the eureka moment? But I've learned on my journey, Sandhu, that I always had the goodness in me. It's just I was cast to fucking drift, but then I had the courage, the circumstance and the opportunity to find my way back to myself. So I found my way back to myself. Because we're all got greatness in us, Sandhu. It's just when we go through so much shit, we can all get lost sometimes, right?
You all get
but
lost.
which just human beings
get
do.
lost.
I don't care who you are and where you come from or what you got.
We've lost a few
This
times.
is the experience.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, you know, I only speak for me, is I found my way back to myself. You know, I'm a very humble, very courageous person. I've got very clear ideas because I've been to the darkest places.
Yes.
But I had to get through that to go to the lightest places.
Sure, you have to.
If
man.
you don't know the darkest places, how
can't
can you know what the lightest places are like?
Yeah. If you don't do that, you can't do that.
What was your relationship like with your parents and your siblings growing up?
Um,
And what were your parents' backgrounds?
you know, they was Irish. It was very hard back then, you know, in them days. There was a lot of stuff going on. Different era, old school. They brought ideas from the old country. They was very set in their ways. There was good people, honest people. You know, they was trying to make their way in the world. Times was very hard. I was cast adrift, and of course I had my own choices. Where I lived in Ireland, I was disjointed anyway. So when I come to this country, it was all alien to me, Shaun. Don't forget, you know, I'm coming from a war zone, you know, to East London. Yeah, East London's a very fast place, but it's not like guns and bombs and soldiers running up and down the street, is it, every day?
Like Libya.
No, but this is the thing, right?
Mentality, mate.
Yeah,
This is the mentality that gets inset.
Yeah.
Inset. So when you get set to a different city, you're still thinking that mentality, really. And that's how you handle fucking shit.
Well,
But
you
when
have
you're young at- I know, but you're young
these
at the time.
experiences in this
But you're
programming,
young
don't
at the time, and that's why the mistakes got made, aren't they?
Why were your Irish parents in Watford, was it, Harrow? Why did they end up there?
They just, because of the trouble in Ireland at that time. You know, there was a lot of trouble in Ireland at that time. And a lot of the Irish kind of moved. You know, they moved. And they wanted work, you know, stuff like that. So they, you know, they went to try and make a life for themselves against, rather than have nothing. Because there was nothing there. So, you know, we're people and we make the fucking best of it, Shaun. Especially when we're not silver fucking spooned or born with some big...
You're going to have to
We have to make the best
I'm
of
going
it.
to fucking London. Oh, is that I'm going to fucking London?
So it didn't work out. That's why they went back.
No, you know, they're still here now. They're in England now, you know, and they're...
But they had you and took you back.
Yeah, they took me back. But I was actually there. I grew up with aunts and uncles while my mother came here to try and build a life at that time. So I didn't know my mother until later on.
See. You moved.
So I was a very unsettled child for obvious reasons. You know, it is what it is, right? And that, you know, that contributes to how we make choices going forward, especially when we're young and stupid, easily led,
There's no thinking
and
back
all
then.
of this kind
You
of
don't
stuff.
really think back then, do you? Thinking don't really come into
You don't
it.
have any knowledge. You don't know how the world
Thinking don't
works
come
or
into
nothing.
it, no.
You haven't got a clue. You
just-
think you do,
You just make your
but
moves,
you haven't
yeah.
got a clue
You just make
about
your moves.
nothing.
And what year did you come back from the war zone?
When I was 9, you know, so I was born in 1971. So 9 years on that, and that's when I come back.
And how did you integrate then in this new community?
I was different because I spoke different and stuff like that, and I had a different way, you know. But my answer to that, because we all want to belong, especially children. We don't want to be an outcast, but I always knew I was different. So I would do more and be more. So you might get the kid in school who's the class clown. That's his way of coping, of saying I'm here and and this is what I do. My way was to, from where I come from, was to do more, be more. So I would set myself up for more trouble. I was a lot gamer, or had to be gamer than everyone else. So this kind of continued, Shaun. That was my answer. I was a very angry child as well. Not that because I was confused. I was confused, and I had, I had some issues. But they would come out in anger when I was, because I didn't have the knowledge or the understanding.
It's all about knowledge at the end of the day, isn't it? You know what it is? But you can't get knowledge at them years, can you? Neither. So
You can't put an old head on young shoulders.
so really,
You can't do it.
It's like people say, okay, we can teach our children this. Not really, because knowledge comes with experience, you know?
It takes time.
If you haven't experienced it, you cannot even speak about it.
Absolutely. This is what I
So-
say. Experience is the best teacher. Till you've done something,
You
don't
gotta
beat
go
yourself
through
up
shit.
that you know
You gotta
about
go
it.
through it, man.
That is not...
When did the
thing.
boxing begin?
Well, just, I was never no big mad boxer, but, I used to do a bit because friends of mine used to box and they was quite good at it. So we'd train.
At
And
what age?
about 12, I started 13, and I was in and out of it, in and out of it. And then I come away from it, and then I was kind of, I was in the homes, and then I done a bit more after, because I started going to prison. So I kind of done more after, but I'd started it earlier. And then
Was it therapeutic?
I was as fit as a butcher's dog. Do you know the one thing we used to, because I was in places like Portland Bill Boston when I was young. An old Napoleonic place up in the hill that has one way in and one way. It's like Dracula's Castle. I remember when they took me there because they'd kicked me out of Dover, kicked me out of Huntingcombe. They'd kicked me out of everywhere. They couldn't handle me, but they sent me there. And as I went up that hill, I would imagine thunder and lightning. It was like, honest to God, it was fucking surreal. It was like going to Dracula's Castle, and you go in there, and they're all sailors, they're all pals, and you don't leave there. This has got a wall round it, like I'd never seen a wall round a kid's place. But you go there. I remember I went into Slopat in there, first time, right? And I go in there, and I looked out the window, and there's a sheer cliff. It's like the Count of Monte Cristo. Honest to fucking God, this was the kind of place, right? But I used to train like a demon, just in the cell, even with the chair. I'd do 1,000, 1,200 press ups a day, every day. I'd do 60, 80. I'd jot them all down. That'd just be press ups. That kept me going. So I was very lithe and fit like that. Wasn't a massive man.
Shaun, you said, yeah?
But yeah.
Therapeutic, listen, yeah? That's interesting, yeah? It's not really therapeutic, yeah? It's like, I want to know I'm capable of the job. Do you know? That's why I'm training. That's why I'm doing this.
You need to feel healthy
It's not about the mind. Okay, it might be about the mind.
Self-medication is the drugs it releases.
But it's not meditation. I just want to know. I want to knock this next cunt out. Yeah? Because that's why I'm doing this, yeah? It's not for like yoga shit and that, yeah? I am doing this so if anybody comes near me,
I can defend myself and I'm ready.
And I'll mangle you and I'll fucking turn you upside down. I'll slam dunk you. I'll choke you. Boom, anything. Therapeutic in jail, training. I think it passes time, doesn't it?
If you're angry,
I think it just passes time, doesn't it? Yeah, you need them hours to pass your time.
It's healthy. Let's face it. It's all them things that you're saying. Of course it is. Yeah. But it helps as well.
Channel your anger.
It helps you to calm down because you're fucking hurting so much as well. It calms you down sometimes. I mean, we train ourselves till we couldn't because there'd be some peace in that at least. If even just for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But the idea of it is that you need to be very strong in there and you want to know that you're capable to look after yourself.
Yeah.
So you've described how you had status later on. What was your status in Borstal?
I was a very lively, very game kid. Like I said, they kicked me out of everywhere.
Borstal's a hard work, aren't they?
They're
on game on the fuck, aren't they? I've heard
they're worse. They can be worse.
Because at least men have got the sentence.
Have some reason.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or whatever. I'm just going to keep my head down. I want to get out because I've got a missus. I've got my kids out there. So they shut the fuck up. Try to. But these young boys, who the fuck are you? I've never been to Borstal yet, but I've heard loads of stories about lad, yeah.
Crazy.
I would have hated that, mind.
Oh, I was always fighting in Borstal.
Yes.
All the time.
All
the time.
I would have hated that. That's the worst thing.
Crazy.
What's your craziest Borstal stories?
Oh, God.
They're all game on, man. You're fighting every day, aren't you, probably?
There was one guy. I'll tell you this one. I was in a place, true story, right? I was in a place in the Mount, and that was a very violent gaff dead in them days. Really, I'm telling you what, I see terrible things there. There was a square there, and you'd get certain kids that would come on. If they was unlucky enough to be in the square, everyone would be out the window. Where you come from? What do you mean, this and that? Honest to God, kill yourself.
Hard work,
nasty, man. What people?
Work.
If you was unlucky enough, the lights should go out. You'd see people's jaws getting broke. The lights should come back on. It's serious. So anyway, these couple of guys, they was big black guys, right? And they was robbing everyone. They was robbing everyone, right? And they was intimidating guys. And they come as fucking two of them. That was the thing. So you was up against it, right? And they was very physical, very big, right, and all that. You know, I was about 19, 20. But I had a watch, and they come, you know, and we had a kind of scuffle in the toilet because they tried to take me watch off me. In the melee, it fell off.
Right.
So they swiped it and fucked off. I was fucking fuming.
Yes.
I thought, well, they come in here,
This
there's
is
two
fucking
fucking
major
robbers.
in jail.
So I went to bang up that night, right? And I banged up. In the morning, I was up early. PP9 in the sock, you know, the big heavy one. I had to. I thought, no way you're getting away with that.
PP9, baby. PP9. Remember that? Go on. That's funny as fuck, that one. PP9. What are you?
This is a
PP9. Right, go on, bro. That's funny as fuck.
If you hadn't have done that, though, these people, I'll tell you would have been. They would. Your
I
life
know.
wouldn't have been
There's
worth
two of them
fucking
in there.
living for a
There's
minute.
two of them anyway.
There's even more of them. They're the two main ones, but there's a gang of them there.
There's more of them in
who's
there.
strong, yeah. And there's a couple of my lot, Cockney and that, are all right, and they're heavy. But they're outnumbered, so they just want to play the game. They're not so really you're fucked in there, right? A lot of numbers. So I thought, okay, no worries. I've got the thing for this. Up in the morning, honest to God, up in the morning early.
PP9's the best line of the night. Right, go on. Go on. I'm sorry, it's fucking lovely.
But this is a great story. Because I'm up early doors, and of course I am, right? I'm thinking,
Yeah.
over there. So I'm up early. As soon as the door's open, I've got it. You know the big fat square lot?
PP9.
In the. And I go right round the thing. I bowl right round there. I go to his cell, down this, and this is where they all was on this straight, this little leg. They was all on there, so I had to be there early, right? So I go to his door, and he's kind of in there, he's in his shorts, right? The light's dimmed, and he's just woke up, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So I pushed the door.
That's the best time to hit somebody.
Yeah, I went straight in there, just started smashing him around the head with it. So anyway, I had to catch him, Cole, and he's a massive lump. So anyway, what he does is he claims my shoulders, but I'm still hitting him all the way up the landing. And he pushes me out of the door, across it to someone else's cell. And I'm still hitting him.
A tough cut.
Right, so we fall down. Listen, we fall down in the other cell. There's some geezer in there who's terrified. He's like that. What the fuck? So we come straight in, and we're fighting. And I'm still hitting this guy because I have to fucking.
Yeah.
He's massive, right? I think I need to do the damage.
Yeah.
Anyway, the bell goes. The bell's always going there, so they're waiting for it. The screws come in. I'm still hitting him. All right. I must have hit this 15 times, and he's still holding on.
Fuck's sake.
But I've had to subdue him.
He's still holding
Anyway,
on.
they pull me off. But I had my little come up because I know, you know, on the way out, I said, "You're only a fucking boy to me, you." And I love saying that because they was bullying the whole place. And they thought they'd come. I thought, have a bit of your own medicine. How does that feel?
Excellent.
So then it was a bit funny in that.
No,
but they left me alone.
They left you alone.
Because they thought he's a lunatic. At the end of the day.
You fucking night, motherfucker. Bang, 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 bang.
But you know what they thought? They could have done me easily because they was very physical, but there was a gang of them. But they must have thought, you know what? We'll do you really easy, but you know what? Fair play to you. You're fucking crazy. We'll leave you alone, right? You know what I mean?
Geezer, you walk in the main geezer with a tool. So the rest of the thing, oh, God.
Yeah, because the rest of them wouldn't do it.
You know what it is,
The rest of them wouldn't do it. He was the
You
main
know what
one,
it is, yeah?
Shaun.
If you get a
The
firm
main
of
one.
five, yeah?
They thought, fucking
you
yeah, I've
get
been
a
doing that for
firm-
years. Yeah.
If you get a firm of five, yeah, there's only probably one strong one, yeah? The other four are pussies, yeah? Once you do the strong one, I go, okay, he's done the strong one. So what the fuck are we going to do? So what the fuck? So then they just all fucking fall down.
Yeah, it was
Good move, that.
something I really had to
Good
do.
move.
It's not something I enjoyed. It's not something,
No,
but
no, you had to
but
make
I
the
was
move.
that way. I wasn't. There was many
If you
who
don't
would-
do it, they're going to do you. If
but
you don't do it, they're
I
going to
would,
do you.
You know, I would say no. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not having that.
But they're
and
gonna
fuck
do
you,
you
basically.
otherwise.
If you say you're going to treat people,
Yeah.
I can defend myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've got no problem defending myself.
Did you see anyone get really brutalised in there?
Oh, yeah, I see fucking terrible stuff, man. Because what they would do, you know, when you would come into that, if you was unlucky enough to get in the square, right, everyone would be on them. You know, set your cell on fire. I mean, I've even seen kids in there. You've got to think kids who've never been to prison, Sandhu, go in there, they're subjected to that, and they're so frightened.
Oh, God, yes.
That they would set their cell on fire and do all sorts of, so frightened in there.
Yeah,
honest to God.
They are.
Not
it's
good.
a wrong environment. Yeah, it depends on the sentence, what these young kids get sent for. 'Cause there's a lot of young, violent kids,
Yeah,
who
they
just
got
want
no
to fuck
sense.
on, game on, motherfucker. And there's another boy who's done something small, and he gets fucking put into that fucking circle. So they're setting themselves on fire. They will hang themselves. They will take drugs. It's not how to deal with these kids.
Yeah,
Listen to me, kids, yeah, you got to notice who's violent and who is not violent, yeah? Separate jails, I would say. One for the violent kids and one for the non-violent boys. Drinking offences, this, that, underage drinking, just do something shitty. But if you're violent, then you go this one. If you're not...
This was a very violent
Because
place.
these boys who get sent to that environment, wow, they'll wreck them, that.
Sandhu, they would have
They'll
never
wreck 'em.
have seen
They'll wreck 'em.
something
They'll
like that.
wreck
You
'em.
know yourself what that would be
It'll
like.
wreck them, man.
It does. It's just
No, it does.
it's horrendous.
It wrecks them.
It's horrendous.
So once you made that example, did everyone in that population then not try you?
There was one little kind of comeback. Obviously, they're like, fucking hell, did you hear so-and-so got done? Good. We deserve to get done. But then, you know, the screws was very tight in there because there was so much violence. But the next kind of comeback I had was we was meant to go into the showers, and one of his, it wasn't even one in the main group, but he was kind of wanted to get in with him or something. He said, I'll fight her. I said, all right, then, no problem. Straight away, I had to face it again, Shaun. Into the showers, and that went very well. I mean, I'd done him in there.
Yeah.
It was a fair enough fight. He didn't have the best of me. I'd done him in there. You know, it was okay. It was no big shakes.
Yeah.
But that was fine. Because that showed them again that, look, you know, it doesn't just
And
use
that's
the
another
tools, kid.
example of this.
You know, he'll go in the
That's
showers and
another
have a square
example.
go as well, and cool. You have to respect that, right?
What happened
So
there
it's like a
was
test.
probably,
Yeah,
he fucked the main kid, right?
yeah.
There might be another fucking 4 or 5. So there was a little fucking meeting, go right.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
going to fucking go?
Yeah,
Who's going to go
yeah,
do him?
Yeah,
One stepped up, that one.
Yeah.
But you fucked him as well.
yeah.
So that's
But I
that.
didn't lose, Sandhu. There was a fair enough fight. No
Yeah,
tools.
I know, but they
I had
said,
the better of him.
who's going to go for him now?
Yeah.
So one probably stepped up. Or forced to step up. Forced, probably.
What was the worst things you saw the guards do to the kids in Borstal?
I think the worst things I've seen the guards do is, as Sandhu said before, they'd actually set you up. You know, I mean, I can remember I was in, I think it was Full Sutton, and we was down the block, and it wasn't really my enemy, but it had a lot of problems with my friends, you know, and they'd been stabbing each other, and there'd been this war, so they was very much that lot. So you'd go to some prisons and you'd be okay because you'd have your friends, but you'd go to others and they'd do it on purpose and there'd be loads of them. So it wouldn't be a good place to be, right? You'd have to watch your back. So, you know, it was just like that. But we were staying the block, and this guy, he was one of them ones who, if we see each other in sight, we knew what it was something was going to happen, right? You know, usually they would put us in the yard separately. This day I go out there, he's out there in the fucking yard, isn't he, this half-caste guy. So straight away I see him, I knew it was a setup, so I go out there, door's closed, thought, I'll wait for the door. So I'm walking round, we walked round once, you know, and then I went up to him. I said, look, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I said, but you know they've set this up, right? And he went, yeah. He said, you know what? He said, we'll fucking leave it for now, right? I'm leaving it for now, right? I said, yeah. Because he was a tasty guy. At least he had enough fucking sense to see they was making an idiot out of us. They put us out there because they wanted us to harm each other. So we ended up walking round. But that could have been very different, Shaun, you know, and it does be very different, and this is what they do, these people. I think that's about the worst they can do, because they have a responsibility in there, but they can really set people up.
Or they do. They
do.
They like to set people up. Because to them it's a bit of a joke, innit?
Yeah.
You know, a bit of a laugh, innit? Let's
Yeah.
just Sandhu with this fucking big
Let's play so-and-so against
black nonce,
so-and-so, you know what I mean?
Let's set him up with that.
That's the
For them, it's
That's the
amusement.
latest tip. Use the us versus them mentality to make a peaceful settlement. It does work sometimes. It's not all violence. Who were the craziest people you came across?
This is a great question. But you know what I learned about them places is you can be the skinniest, strangest little one who no one sees in the corner, and they'll be the one because he stab you in the back and fucking run.
It's like
it's full of
Spain.
dangerous
He was
people.
7.5 stone, Carlo.
I'm telling you.
A kid as me. 7.5 Clem. I would just get him, whoosh him, throw him over the fucking wall. But I don't want to fuck with that cunt.
Yeah, there's many like that
Don't
in there,
want to fuck
Shaun.
with him. Don't want
Many.
to fuck with
I
him.
saw a skinny kid knock
It's not
out.
the big kids, it's me. The big kids are the big kids, aren't they? You know, okay, he's just going to have a fight with me, yeah, you know? It's going to be fucking that. It's not really going to hurt much, yeah? That's fine, but this other skinny kid, he will just do me.
I can remember a story. I've got a story
He will
about
stick
that.
me 11 fucking times.
I've got a story about
Yeah.
that, Shaun. It's just come to me, and I remember,
Yeah.
right? There was this kid, and he was a little skinny kid like we're talking about. Come from Manchester, somewhere around that way. His name was Unwin, right? Normally, he was kind of all right, but he was on these treatments, anti-schizo treatments, and you could see it in his eyes when he wasn't well. You know, you'd see it in his eyes, right? Anyway, you know, we was on the landing, and there was 2 screws at the end of the landing. And he was having a bad time. It was obvious he hadn't took his treatment. It was building up, and he was a very unwell person, right? So he was coming out to the screw, and he was going, "Governor, is my visit here yet?" And the screw was saying, "No, when your visitor's not here, he'd go back into his cell, right?" 5 minutes later, he was coming back out. He says, "Governor, is my visit here yet?" So this went on about 4 times. So the screw got the hump, didn't he? So in the end, when he comes out about 4 times, he said, "No," he says, "your fucking visit's not here. If they're going to get you, they'll call you down the end. Now go back to your cell." So I watched him, he went, you know when you see them move, so them lunatics, I see him change, right, and shift, and he like shifted off like a ghost. I thought, whoa. Anyway, he goes in there, because, he goes into the cell, but he come out with 2 knives. Started stabbing the screw, man.
No, but this is
Two
what we're dealing
knives, he
with.
started stabbing the screw.
These screws need to know who the fuck you are dealing
When I
with.
see that, I said, wow. But
You
I
need
see
to know
that
what you're
coming
dealing with here, you
because
know?
I knew he hadn't been taking his treatment, and this is not a guy.
fucking hell.
You need to look after him and put him somewhere
This
where
is
he
what we're
needs to,
saying
'cause
about the
he's not
Bostels, yeah?
loco.
The violent criminals, the cuckoos.
Yeah.
You can't stick them in with a normal fucking...
Altogether.
They
Because
should have
there's
been
some
in there,
kids,
yeah.
that go to jail for drink driving, twice over the limit, blah, blah, blah. And they get thrown in with people like us, and this is a shock to their system, mind. It's a shock to their system. We're used to it, yeah? Because that's our life. No, but we have chosen our lifestyle, yeah? But these are accidents or crimes of passion even, where there's a boyfriend, a girlfriend shags somebody else, and he's gone, and then he makes a move. He's not a criminal. It's a crime of passion.
Seen that, he's lived his whole life normal, comes home.
But then you get thrown in. I'm not saying that we're bad, yeah? Because we're the good guys at the end of the day. But there's a lot of fucking shit. A lot of shit you have to deal with. And they know you're vulnerable. They know you're vulnerable. They know, right, we got a target here. He might have a little bit of money. Let's put a bit of pressure on him. Tell his parents to send his money in. This, it's fucking, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, very much.
Unless you pick this life. But we have picked this life, you and me. Yes, we have picked this life.
Yeah,
We have picked this life.
we did.
We
picked something else after.
Did.
We picked something else after,
did,
but
and
then we
finished with it,
was
yeah.
all in. When we was
We're
all
did
in,
and
we
finished
was
the
all
same as
in.
You, Shaun. You're exactly the fucking same.
Yeah.
You're exactly the fucking same, yeah? The 3 of us did pick this fucking stupid life for a period, but we've wised up, and now let's wise the rest up, innit? Let's wise the rest up.
We do try, Sandy, don't we? We do try. Absolutely.
we are
That's what it's all about.
we are rehabilitated. All right, just a few thoughts. A few thoughts. All 3 of us are rehabilitated. A few thoughts on what you just said then. So I saw a skinny kid, big guys pick on him, and they had no idea about his fighting skills. He knocked out big guy after big guy after big guy, and his trademark was he would always make them shit the pants. He'd always leave him, and then he'd tell them, the head of the gang would come out and say, look, you got to clean up your own shit now, or else you roll out of this fucking pod. My question for you is it better to be a big tough guy? Do they have higher mortality rates, or to be more low key and to be a skinny, nondescript?
I think it's about attitudes. It doesn't matter how big. Look, forget big and physical. We're not metal. We all bleed. It's about attitudes. If you're a respectful person who sticks by the rules, who has a good values in there, even though you may be in that circumstance, I've seen many talented people in there who could have been anything. They just happened to be there. We was there, right? So it doesn't matter how big or strong you are, like I said. So it's more about the attitude and the person and how you carry yourself.
Yes. It's your personal thoughts here. If you go inside, I'm thinking, right, okay, I'm not going to pick on a weak guy, okay, because that ain't my style, right, okay? But it's other people's style, isn't it? It's other people's style, but not for people like us, yeah? So we will just do our thing, yeah? We will take care of the weak. If we see it, if it's in our face, I will step fucking in straight away. I ain't talking to him like that, you cunt. Some bully picking on some sort of weak kid, no. But you don't go never looking for a fight. You don't go. But we didn't sell drugs inside, yeah? I didn't sell drugs inside. I don't know about you, yeah? But I didn't sell no drugs inside. I lent money inside. I was a money lender. But don't put yourself in the forefront. And because then you are going to get, boom, another guy who's selling drugs. All right, I want to take this motherfucker out. You got to just play cool, play yourself. Have your own morals. If you've seen anybody get bullied, you step in. Of course you do. Yeah?
Your own voice.
Yeah.
Your own voice.
Yeah.
Your own way.
And that's all you need. You don't need to enforce anything.
No, this is
We're
the wrong
not
thing.
enforcing.
Yeah.
We are not enforcing now.
Yeah.
We are in jail.
Yeah.
We're just fucking keeping on fucking that. But do not fuck with me, please. Do not come near me if you have an argument for no reason, because I don't want to fucking really speak with you. And if you do that, we got drama, haven't we?
So you mentioned it's psychological then, and the way you carry yourself. And people watching this, one of the most common questions they send in prison survival advice: how should I carry myself when I walk in body language? What do I do? How do I behave?
How can you explain that one? It's so funny, isn't it? It depends on the person, isn't it? How
Do you know when I say? I mean, it's a stupid question in a sense, because it is and it's not, obviously. But if you're in a position like that, it depends what you are. Like I'm saying, you can be unlucky enough to end up in a real hellhole of a place, but it'll be the people, not actually the place. It'll be the danger. This is the first thing. But look, you be yourself.
It's the people around you.
You don't invite fights or trouble. You definitely don't put them signals out.
Don't look for it.
But you be yourself, and you need to be nice, be yourself. But you need to have an edge about you.
Yes.
Keep out of people's business,
Yes.
and just an edge that, look,
Even if you,
I'm cool, but leave me alone, man, because I'm not going to be fucked about with.
Back off. I'm not backing
You
off.
have to do that in a neutral way.
Even if I know I'm going to lose the fight,
Yeah.
even if I know I'm going to lose, I'm still going to fucking roll.
Yeah.
I'm still going to roll, even though I'm a low.
Yeah.
Even though I might lose, I'll roll. Just to show, because in jail they go, oh, you fucking pussy down. But if you fucking stand up and take a licking, I went, oh, fucking, you did fucking stand up, the cunt.
What about body language?
Look, be yourself, and it's like, look, you don't want to invite trouble there, and you be yourself and you stay true, you have to, but, it is, if you, go into a situation where, you're going to have a fight, even if you lose, people do respect that.
But this is
to do
your
nothing
self-character,
is not a good idea.
Body language, Shaun, It's very hard to do if you're not
The real thing.
that way
Yeah,
inclined.
absolutely.
You can't pull that off.
Nah. Not in these places
can't
with
pull it
these
off
kind of people.
Because
they have an
people see
antenna
it.
for
This is
that.
me. Oh, yeah.
Big time. Big time.
So what
So
about
that's
what
an
about
impossibility. You can't fake it.
Yeah.
It's impossible to fake it.
No, I agree with you. I think it'd be stupid to try and do that because that'll send out the
That
wrong
was the
signal.
ball, and then you get a
So I'm
fucking-
just saying, be yourself.
And then you're gonna shut
Don't
the
invite
fucking
trouble.
elbow in the queue for the food. Someone's gonna. Oh, wait. Now what?
Let's test it.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
nothing,
test
has
it.
he?
So what about the guy who's just been sentenced? He's stressed out, comes in looking at the floor,
What's the sentence up?
slumped over shoulders,
What's a-
looking down at the
but
floor.
What's the sentence?
Versus the guy who comes in with a spring in his stride, looking cocky.
It depends on your sentence, bro. It depends on the sentence, doesn't it? It depends on what you're in for.
Depends on the place, and it
who
depends
you
on the
are.
person.
It depends on where you are, what jail you in.
Yeah.
It depends on what you've done.
Yeah.
What you've done. If you're in for selling drugs, okay, you can hold your head up high, sort of thing. Violence, that's okay as well. I'm not bringing violence up here, but never mind.
But there is a hierarchy of,
burglary, bashing birds, or fucking house creeping, bag snatching.
Going down.
Listen to me. Yeah, there's fucking, it goes from there, doesn't it?
That's
Yeah.
it.
The armed robbers are at the top, yeah? Okay? The main drug dealers, international smugglers, the ones that just keep their fucking mouths shut and just
Yeah.
under it.
Yeah.
It depends what you're in for. Driving offences, if you're not really a criminal, a crime of passion, you can't explain to somebody like walk into jail like this, oh, they will spot you straight. Listen to me. Bro, that isn't a possibility, innit?
Be yourself.
Because these people...
Much
they're
as you
like-
can be.
These
Much
people,
as you can be.
These people are watching
Yeah.
you, watching. All right, who's he? Right, you know, right. I'm on him.
Absolutely.
You might have some money,
Yeah.
and then they intimidate you, and then they tell your family, put money into my bank account here, and then they get fucking all the tablets and shit. It's a horrible fucking place. It's a horrible place.
Other than the stories you've told us then, what's the worst things you've heard happen to sex offenders?
Oh God, I'll tell you what. You know, there was a story about this guy. Right, he got killed in there as well. You know, they both got another life for this as well. These people, but he was this.
Wasn't left up anyway.
They was lifed up anyway.
Well, okay.
I knew both of them.
Yeah,
Right, true story.
yeah.
But this sex offender, he was a rapist, right? And he was something else as well. It was bad shit, right? And he was doing a 7 or something in Long Lartin, but he was actually going home in about 20 days or something.
Right.
And these two people I know, you know, they went in there and there was some fracas on the wing and they had them spikes, you know, them spikes, I think, Shaun? You know, the spikes from the thing, you know, and they said to him, look, don't worry about your discharge, Grant, you know, and he said, you know, because they knew who he was a nonce, you know, and he tried to say to them, look, I don't know trouble, but they, you know, they stabbed him 11
days
times
away.
in there. Yeah.
20 days away.
Yeah, they just stabbed him in there. And you know what? The blood, you know, left him in there, closed the door, fucked off. But the blood was so much coming out, they was sweeping it up with a dustpan to try and. But yeah, so that's quite well, it is a horrific story, right?
But that's quite
And there
good,
you
yeah.
go.
Because he saved the full sentence. He thinks he's getting out, and bang.
Stopped some victims from happening, at least.
Listen to me. When you kill somebody, when he starts a sentence, it's pointless. Let them feel the fucking 5, 7, 8 year first. Bro, it's hard work, innit?
Yeah,
Fucking it's hard work.
If it's a chomo.
Listen to me, just let them feel the jail first. Why do you want to kill them instantly as soon as they walk in? Pathetic.
Did you ever feel that your life was like this, this close from losing your life ever?
Oh yeah, a few times, yeah.
Any that you haven't told us?
Oh, Shaun, look, you know, I've had guns put to my head a couple of times, you know, and you react in different ways. You know, once I would say, fuck you then, you know.
Why
Do
would
it.
it, what was the
Which is
situation?
crazy, but they didn't do it. And the second
Yeah.
time, I was not feeling that. I thought, this gun's going to kill me in a cafe in Hackney, right? Different experience, right? But there you go.
What was the situation? Why did they do that to you?
Well, it was one of them mad gaffs, and it was a drug place. And we'd gone in there, and there was someone who was away with the fairies and crack cocaine, really, this dread. He was a serious fucker. He was, you know, right cat.
Yes.
And we'd gone through it. We'd gone there for a meet. We was meeting someone. It was something. This is in the old days, you know, around Mare Street, Hackney, and all that stuff. we'd ended up in this place, and it was a very bad place to be, and, guns was pulled and stuff like that, and that was a close one. I was very happy to get out of that, because when you're dealing with someone like that, it only takes a moment.
Unhinged people, you really have to kill them, because they want to kill you, really. So it's like, who's going to make the first move,
Yeah.
The first strike.
Yeah.
It's best to stay away from these fucking cunts.
Exactly. I saw.
It's best to stay away from these cunts, because they're unhinged.
In Arizona, they call Rule 22 or something. No, or Rule 11, is it? And there was a Golden Gloves boxer, was the head of the white gang, and he was knocking everybody out left and right. And then he fought a Rule 11, and this guy, the fight just went on for 30 minutes, and he quit, like, being the head of the gang after that.
30 minutes, fight going on 30 minutes.
This was, like, he would
Continuous. Continuous.
He would fight this guy, put him down,
no breaks.
walk out. It was over. And then this guy would, like, run out and jump on his back and go back in. It went on and on.
Same fights go like that.
Right, go on.
Proper
Go on.
fights.
Go on.
Yeah.
Right, if they took breaks in between.
Everybody was watching. Everybody's watching. And at the end of it, he just was like, right, that's it. I can't. He quit being the head of the gang. So would you avoid fighting crazy people?
I would say I would definitely avoid fighting full stop. It's not about fighting.
Yes.
It's about
That's
finding
right,
the skills
that's right.
to solve your problems without fighting.
Yes.
But when you're in a place like that, you're between the devil and the deep blue sea. It really is do and die.
Yeah.
You're working with a different skill set in there. I mean, this is a very, very serious. How to navigate that is something.
But if somebody comes at you like that,
Yeah.
for 30 fucking minutes, self-defense, I think you can work it,
Yeah.
I would just bite the throat, I'll pull it out. I would just pull the throat out, personally. No, but listen, he's going to do me in the end, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Well,
if he's willing that hard,
if
he's not stopping, if he's not stopping, what can I do?
It kept stopping and then restarting. He'd finish and then he'd go back
throw
up.
out. Just fucking get him in a fucking hold, bite the throat, pull it all out. You might get nicked here, but it's self-defense. Trial on it. You might get a few of your pals to be witnesses. They might back you up. You might get away with it. You might get away with that, might you? You might get away with that one. You might even walk on that. If he's known as a bully, you might walk on that one.
What's the worst? What's the worst you've seen self-harmers do?
Self-harmers?
Yeah.
You see, well, I've got to be honest, that's John Steed.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd done it once and once only. I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't forget it. It's quite a thing.
All right, so you got out of Borstal, then what happened?
I went back to London, we was involved in a lot of gang stuff then and different stuff, serious crime, loads of different stuff, anything, loads of different serious crime, of course you'd fall out with other gangs and stuff like that. It was the 80s, the times of ease, the times of drugs, times of party, the time of all of this stuff.
You argue with the whole world every day, don't you? You have more.
You're in your own bubble. You're in your own bubble,
you have more ricks on than Saddam Hussein had back in the day. That's what I was like. I had more fucking ricks everywhere. You're probably the same, yeah. I went, oh, fuck it, I'm going to give a fuck. But you don't give a fuck at the time, do you?
We're very young.
About all the ricks. I know.
We have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah. You have loads of ricks on, but you don't give a fuck.
But you're in that life, and in them days as well with me, my family and a lot of the people around me, there's very serious criminals.
So were you taxing drug dealers or armed robberies?
We've done all that stuff. I mean, it was armed robberies, it was vans, it was tobacco lorries, anything that moved. But I was around, a lot of people in my family and different stuff that we was around, that loose association of robbers who'd worked together and all that was very, very serious criminals. It was security vans, hijacking, a lot of stuff like that, a lot of serious stuff. So you'd kind of be really immersed in that. It gets very serious very quickly.
So in the comments on the James English interview, a lot of people were asking, wish we could have heard more details of what he actually did. And I've got something written down here. As an armed robber, you were arrested in the City of London. First arrested for armed robbery in a car with 2 others. A gun was found in the street. One grassed you up, and you went to the Old Bailey, beat the conspiracy to rob, but got 2.5 years for firearms. You want to give us that story?
Yeah, I mean, God, there's so many. I mean, with the vans, there'd be times we'd be in the car, we'd have the box with all the smoke coming out of it out the window. My life, going down Main Road. Main
Really?
roadways. Oh, yeah.
Smoke coming out the window.
The box, out of the box.
With a dye, that
out
dye
of
shit.
the dye, out of the...
But can I ask you a question? How did you get rid of them notes if they're all fucked up? How did you get rid of them fucked up notes?
This is a trade
Go on,
secret
tell
from
me
a
the-
long, long time ago.
Tell me the truth there.
But there was carpet cleaner. We used to borrow the money.
Carpet cleaner.
Yeah.
Go on.
It used to borrow the money, and it used to take most of the dye off of it. Not all of it. I mean, this is in them days.
I know what you're saying. Brilliant.
But we'd stew it like a soup
Yes.
and cook it, boil it. And most of it,
Yes.
not all of it. But
Yeah. But it's possible.
But then we'd use it in all
It's possible,
different
it's
things. We'd
possible.
use it in machines and that. You didn't
I know
have
it's
to.
possible. It's possible.
It's possible. You
it's
didn't have to
possible.
go and use it over the counter. We'd
Brilliant.
find other ways of using it, right? But look, anything that
now
moved in
we've
them
fucked
days, Shaun,
off,
really.
Yeah, all you people with security vans, there is a process of washing this money up again twice over. You just told it now.
These are the old days and these days.
Yeah.
Look, you know what?
Listen,
I
dyes
definitely
are dyes.
wouldn't.
They have top-notch things to get dyes out now.
I wouldn't
It's
advise
all
it.
doable.
It's different now,
Okay.
Sandhu. Nah, then they was in a world of schematics and all that and in vans. Now I wouldn't even know. I've been out of that life for so long. I wouldn't know what they do. But they are up here with tech and all the rest of it. The thing is,
You can't
gotta
pull
have
the
a
moves
proper
off now.
life.
I know you can't pull the moves off now, yeah.
Nah, do proper stuff. But
You can't
what
pull
is
that off now.
Yeah. What do you want to know about?
You know
what
now
that-
it's a
yeah.
possibility.
The arrest.
They don't do that now. Don't think.
No,
do
you
they?
can't. It's a
Don't-
possibility, innit? It's a possibility.
How did the arrest go down then?
Well, we was in a car and it was a Q plate. Remember a Q plate? A Q plate was a car.
Irish.
No, a Q plate was a car that had been rebuilt, but it was a new car. But they put another plate in it. Was and it was a Q plate.
Yes.
Now I was with these 2 guys, and we'd picked up a gun, in East London in Valence Road, and we'd got it and the ammunition and all this stuff, and we was going somewhere into the city. But the guy who was driving the car, went the wrong way, and he went right the fucking way into Liverpool Street. Now, this was the days where the city was a ring of steel because of the IRA. So anyone going in or anyone going out. So, of course, they flopped on us, didn't they, the old bill? And there was a chase. The car got crashed and all this stuff. All the old bill come. This is right up by Liverpool Street, Shaun. You know what that's like. You ain't going anywhere there. This is right in the heart of the city. And we were swamped on all that. But I can remember when they got us, and they got me in the car, behind the car. Our car was in front. And the old bill went into our car and drove it away. I see the gun in the middle of the street. And they nearly missed it, Sandhu, because they reversed.
Missed it.
Nearly.
Missed it.
It's lying in the middle of the road. I mean, I
Right.
can see it for, right?
Fucking
12-bore
really?
shotgun, side-by-side shotgun, right? It's right there in the middle of the floor. But they drove the car off, and then he didn't see it. So he's reversed, and he's just about to turn away, and someone runs over this guy from he says, knocks on the window, he says, excuse me. He says, there's a gun in the middle of the road. So we kicked off, didn't we? So we had a big row in the car, trying to get out of the car. Right. More old Bill come, chained us all up still, trying to get out of it, right? Got the gun and all that. But we was taken back to Snow Hill, and they was talking about banks and all this stuff. But, the long and short of it was, there was 3 of us nicked. So they found some other weapons in the car. So they searched it, some other stuff in there. This was the first time I was on Cat A. But I was pot Cat A, which means potential Cat A. This was one of the first time. I had 3 old Bailey trials. So I beat one of them. I beat the second one, conspiracy to rob, persons unknown. All right, persons unknown. It was
So
this.
persons unknown. Well, that's what I got fucked with. Conspiracy with persons. What is that about? I don't understand that one, mind.
It's a catch-all, isn't it?
It's a catch-all, yeah. We make it up. It's a conspiracy, is what they want.
Persons unknown.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I got done with that. Yeah. Go on.
No, but
Fuck's sake.
so we
They do what they want, the cunts.
Old Bailey and all this stuff. But the guy who was driving the car, he crossed us up. We didn't know this, and I thought there was something up with him because he's banging up with us, right? I think, what's up with this guy? He just doesn't seem normal. He's stressed.
He grasped it right away.
Yeah.
And he's housed with you.
Tried to get out. So he's made a statement saying, I went and picked up the gun in East London, and I've done this, and we've done that, and all that. Made a statement. They probably said to him, look, tell us what happened, we know, and then we'll let you out. So he said, no, we're not letting you out. You're going into the other gaffer there, right? So us two, the other two, but we didn't find out until we've got until the statements come through at that time. I remember, and the statements come through, and we seen it, and and it was, I mean, he was meant to be a friend of ours, right? Obviously, and then it's all come out, right? But we tried to look, we said to him, look, me and the other guy, we said to him, look, we had our defence. We was going not guilty. We're going not guilty. So we said to him, look, you need to go up there. Go guilty for the conspiracy to rob, right, and the thingy, and that's you out of the trial. They don't see your thing, and that's it. But, of course, we go to the Old Bailey. He sees his brief, and this brief says, his Bowser says, I'm not fucking having that. You're not going up there to stick your hands up to conspiracy to rob. They ain't even got any evidence. So there was fucking murders over this. But anyway, we went in there and we fought it, and, we'd done our stuff. But we got not guilty on that, and... I got 2.5 years for the possession of a firearm.
That's okay.
So that was the...
That's well done, I think.
And that one. That 2.5 years, anything crazy happened?
Not as such, really. I mean, I'd done that, and what happened was I did get home leave on that sentence. But when I come out on the home leave, because my first son had just been born, I come out to the East End and there was big observation from flying squad, all my friends, family, people around me, there was big stuff happening. And I didn't end up going back, Shaun. So I was unlawfully at large. And this is where it happened. The flying squad, they cleaned up so many people. It's in the book and different stuff. There's a lot of stuff in there that goes through all this stuff. And I ended up getting the big sentence where the shots was fired at the police and all that stuff. And
why were shots fired at the police?
Well, what they say.
Probably because they don't like him, innit? I've answered that question. Right, go on, move on. Next one.
If you were convicted of this, so you can speak about it.
Shots fired at the
I was
police.
convicted of it, right? I was convicted of it. But it was a red eye, right? Know what a red eye is, Sandhu, is where they're all waiting for you. So they're all waiting for you. There's an operation. There's photos. There's all of this stuff. I was arrested with a guy from over Bermondsey, in South London, right? So us two, we got arrested, and they said I was. They shouted armed police. We went to the gaff. They shouted armed police. I was wrestling with a police officer. 2 shots was fired. But I ran on that corner on that day. Now, this was an early evening on Christmas, on the 20th of December. There was people screaming on the road. It was Christmas. It got dark. It was about 5 o'clock. And I can remember, this was on Bethnal Green, this was. And I remember, because all hell broke loose, right, with the old bill everywhere, and there was armed police. And I ran, and I zigzagged down that road. When you asked me, did I ever think I was going to die? I really thought at that point I was going to die. Everything was in slow motion.
Yeah, sure.
Because I zigzagged, I knew shots would be fired. I knew it was already, I knew it when it's fucking slow motion.
You have the point, yeah.
I was trying to save myself, but I was waiting for the shot to come in the back from the back. And it didn't come, Shaun. But it didn't come. Then they got us all in the flats. There was helicopters.
It didn't come, did it?
Didn't come, no.
Listen, because it's not meant to come.
Yeah, that was quite
Because you're meant to do more shit. It's me.
Yeah.
So spiritual. It's me.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about here, yeah? I've been in... Somebody think, all right, it's coming, but fucking it hasn't, has it?
Yeah.
It hasn't, has it?
Absolutely, Sandhu. So it was...
How many co-defendants did they round up?
Well... they had this, in them days, the flying squad had 4 different areas. So they'd have north, south, east, and west. You had Tower Bridge, you had, rig approach. So they had rounded up a lot of people, a lot of my friends, some of my family and all that, in that period, that year, 18 months going around that period. A lot of people got 14s, lot big conspiracies. So people was getting nicked all the time. 2 of us got nicked on that day. But what is really, this is the truth as well, what is really, really funny about that time, this is in the book as well, that the flying squad who nicked me, which was Albert Patrick and people like that, 4 years into my sentence, there's books about this and everything, right? The Ghost Squad went into rig approach, searched all their stuff. They found fit-up kits, guns, masks.
Really?
They were shooting people, right, and all that, fitting them up. And then, if they didn't have weapons and all that on them, they was planting stuff. They all got nicked.
Shit.
They all got nicked. I was in prison. Yeah, it's all there in history, right? They all got nicked. This is in the book as well. About 6 years into my sentence, I got all the depositions because one of the cases who'd screamed fit up was us. Because they moved stuff around in my trial, Shaun.
Yeah.
They put stuff in my pockets and everything. So ours was one of the cases that they went over, and what they had in there was they had 25 officers, but they had a nucleus of 6 who was the main ones who was doing it all, but the rest was complicit, knew it was going on, but they was condoning it, but they wasn't involved. So this was what was going on in there. But they was planting guns on people, they was moving evidence, they was taking money, they was shooting people. Rig approach flying squad.
They do. The police are the most corrupt, man.
Would you say that the police are the biggest mafia then?
Yes.
Biggest gang?
Some would say that. We need the police, obviously, or we need a framework that
I would say
that looks after, that
80%
keeps.
of the police are good.
Yeah.
The 20%. 20% is about bad.
Absolutely. This is like anything.
About 20%.
But when you get a bad one like that, you get a bad one, right? This is the thing.
And they will go the full fucking stretch,
Yeah, absolutely.
They're bad, the motherfuckers.
And they know they can get away with it probably.
But this was big news. You looked that up. This was big news, and
But
it's in the
80%
book
of
as well.
cops are good guys,
Yeah, there's good,
absolutely.
good and bad in
I
every
would
profession,
say
I
so.
believe. Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
There's about 20% that are fucking cunts.
Can do better, let's say.
Yes.
But 80%,
Yeah.
they're there. They have the right values. They're trying
but
to do the right
ones,
stuff.
I don't know what
they
they're
want
in
to
it
preserve
for.
life.
But the other
you know what I mean?
20%, I don't know why they're there. Why are you there? You're scared to be a bank robber. You're scared to be a drug dealer. So you want to be a copper and try and fuck us up. That's your story.
Put your knee on someone's neck for 8 minutes.
Well, I don't know what all that's about.
So, did your co-defendants hold the mud?
Huh?
Did any of your co-defendants snitch or cooperate?
Oh, no. They was, they took their
They're all
sentence the same
solid.
way we all did. They was all solid, yeah.
How long were you unsentenced for?
On that sentence, I'd done 11 years and 9 months.
How long were you pre-trial?
I think it was about 17 months.
So during the pre-trial then, because
Something like
one of
that.
the things I found hardest was the uncertainty of what you're going to get sentenced to.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It was, none of it's a good experience. I mean, I knew we was getting double figures.
Right away you expected double figures.
Yeah, I mean, they had gunpowder residues up the side of my
You know what
arm.
you're doing here.
They had
It's double figures, isn't it?
A lot.
You know that for a fact.
They had a lot, at the end. So
And did it escalate then, the sentence range?
it kind of, it aggravates it when you scream fit up at old Bill. They don't like that. But the truth was they'd done dodgy stuff in that trial.
Yes.
It wasn't a
That's
lie.
what they do. That's
You
what the
make of
police
it
do.
what you will, but this is what they done. And,
How does it feel being in a trial? Your life on the line?
It's enough to make you ill, Shaun. I've seen enough people lose weight. I mean, you've got to imagine, right? When they was taking me to that trial, I would be on a level 2 escort from Brixton. This is flashing lights, don't stop at traffic lights, guns, straight to the Old Bailey. It'd take you about 15 minutes to get from South London to the city in the Old Bailey. And then they do the floating box, so they all come around you. Then you go down into the Bailey and you've got that turntable at the bottom. So the van stops and the whole van swings round on this big metal table, right? And I would come off there in the morning. You know, I should try and make a joke of it. I'd come off the van and I'd go, shaken, not stirred. But my head would be fucked, man. You know, I'd try and make a brave face of it because I had to. But, you know, my head, you know, I used to bring a, you know, I should always make sure I have paracetamol because the stress of it is lose weight. It's just horrendous experience. If that helps, this is the kind of stuff. And then you're in there, you know, and when you're in the Old Bailey in open court with the best in the world, really, it's like a football match. They score, you score. It goes up, it goes down, it goes down. You've got the judge in the middle, intervening on their side, it seems, all the time. Right? All the time. And then, so it really takes it out of you, you know, and you can never read it because it's up, then it's down, then it's up, and you can never read it until that last. It's very stressful, very unhealthy.
I never went to trial, but during the hearings, the prosecutor portrayed me as the Antichrist. My lawyer portrays me as the complete opposite. And you know, at both sides, it's like unreal because you're somewhere in the middle and you're thinking,
It's surreal.
what is going on? It's like pantomime, it's like drama, theatre.
Theatre.
And the side with the most money puts on the best theatre show, and that's always the state, isn't it?
Yeah, theatre.
Were you advised not to speak at your trial?
I was, because look, you know, I couldn't go in there because if I was going in there, I'm not only opening myself up, but you know, I have to, you know, I'd have to start calling them. They fitted me out, and as soon as I'd do that, they would have pulled out. Well, you know, have convictions of firearms, don't you? So I couldn't do that. So my code, he had to get in there because he didn't have, you know, and he had to say they was liars, right?
Sitting there waiting for the sentence, was there a possible range that, you know, that the sentence could have come from, or did you know what was coming down?
Well, you know, these flying squads, you know, they used to come down. They used to say that Albert Patrick, you know, he used to be a wrestler. Back in the old days when Mick McManus, he was a Scottish, I'll fix you and all that, very grizzy. Yeah, he was notorious, this guy. Look him up in the thing, right, Albert Patrick. But he, you know, he was saying, you're going to get 18 years.
18.
We give you 18 years. And this is all the talk all the way through up to playing with your fucking head, right, and all that. And so, but, you know, I knew it'd be, you know, double figures, but, you know, I ended up with 17, so it wasn't far off.
17.
Yeah,
and
17.
you'd already adjusted to that.
Because it was the 14, and then I got the 3 consec for the other bit on top.
Yeah.
And I was unlawfully at large, so it was the extra bit, Shaun.
It's a consent that fucks you up.
But we got on that day, we got about 69 years.
Right.
You know, and they was coming out with all these numbers, you know, and all I knew was it'd be the highest number because it'd make it concurrent. So I heard the highest number was a 14. I think it was firearms with intent to endanger life, or firearms, conspiracy to rob, and that was the, you know, conspiracy, attempted, and, you know, and that was the big charges. But there was firearms charges, firearms with intent to commit indictable offence, possession of firearms. So all these other charges. So it's all different figures.
Concurrent, yeah.
Concurrent, Sandhu, yeah.
Do you know what happened to me, yeah? Consec gave me the cunt. I got 4 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine, 2-year blackmail, and 1 year for controlling prostitution. So I think, okay, I'm only going to get 4 here. And he goes, right, consec. He just added them all. He added them all up.
Yeah.
Stacked.
Added them all up. So, added mine all up. I thought 4, 7 in the end. Oh, you can't.
So even though yours was a big number on sentencing day, was there a sense of satisfaction that it was over and you knew what you were going to get? You knew you got it?
There is. Just a slight bit, right? At least you know that's
what you're doing.
But you just think,
and now
you know,
can plan your life. Well, not plan your life.
But you don't know what's coming,
Strategize.
Sandhu.
You can strategize it, can't you?
Well, you know, at least you know that part of it, they can't do no more for you. Yeah. That is it, apart from an appeal. Yeah. But what people don't understand about getting a double-figure sentence like that is them kind of sentences can take 3-4 years until they hit you. Then you're like, fuck. You know, you're in a no man's land of the 7 levels of hell. And you could have never
Single
have
figures is doable.
predicted this.
Single figures is doable, yeah.
Yeah. Double figures is the next step
next
up.
level,
right?
yeah.
The next step up, yeah.
When did it hit you, Stephen?
Well, a few years in, because I, you know, I mean, it's very desperate. And then you're thrown into that. You're a Cat A, so you're under really strict, everything's monitored. So it's about as tough as it can be. You have to survive in that, find a way to survive. Of course, I
It's
coped.
just trying to get your head around in the first place.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
I don't know how, you know, I mean, you have to do it in the end, is the simple answer, because you have no choice. But, you know, the truth was for me, I coped very bad. Because if I'd have coped well, I would have been more leveled. I would have done a nice bit of bird and tried to get out a bit sensible. But I didn't. My answer was different. I'm not saying it was the right way, but it was my way to do it.
But you were angry as fuck, obviously.
It was just my way to do it, Sandhu, you know? I mean, looking back, of course, you know, there are better ways to do it. I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah,
But it is what it is.
You wouldn't advise
Going
it,
through that
Yeah.
is something else. When you have to
Yes.
fucking go through that, then you can speak about it. And my way was, you know, it was a very tough thing. So it took me a few years. It took me 3 years until it settled in. And then that's a really bad time because, you know, I'm telling you, all the way through that sentence, I really didn't think I'd get out. I could not see a future. I could not see
I get
10
that.
years in front of me.
No,
I
no.
could not understand
No,
what
you
that
can't,
looked
you
like.
can't.
I thought someone was going to kill me,
You can't, can you?
or
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
end up
yeah.
killing someone,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I,
yeah.
you know,
You don't think you're going to be
I would
free.
never get out.
Yeah.
So imagine
That's why you're
that.
gonna
That's what it was like.
fucking- So that's why you're going to roll, innit? You're going to do what the
That's it
fuck
was
you're
like.
gonna do.
Yeah.
How many years were you channeling that energy into rebelling against the system?
The truth is, on that sentence, Shaun, it went all the way through. Because
All
I
the
was
way.
released Cat A as well, Sandhu. I was released Cat A, you know. That's very rare. That is rare. So I done all of that sentence and was released to Cat A. And that's rare. That's rare.
During that stint, what was your lowest moment?
This is in the book as well, right? You know, I can remember I was in Whitemore, right? And I was in that block, right? And it was about 5 years in, and I was at my lowest ebb. I mean, I thought, I can't do this, really. I thought, I can't do this, fuck it. Can't do it. Why would I want to fucking do it? I was really at that bad place, right? And I was in the block and I was in the cell, and it was about 2:00 in the morning, and the cell was dark. But in that really desperate, like the lowest I think I've ever been, I got this absolute warmth of love. It was so profound that it can't be right, you know, and I remember it. And it just swept over me. The cell didn't go bright, but it didn't seem dark anymore. And it was a real feeling that just was so profound that it stayed with me for about 10, 20 seconds and then lifted away again. Now, that was very profound. And it was so profound because it changed that I was in a bad way. So that's something.
I read a quote in prison, I think it was Nietzsche. He said, "Thoughts of suicide got me through many a troubled night."
Yeah.
Do you relate to that? Did you think about suicide? And did it give you like a sense of, I've got power, I've got an option?
Yeah, it's a fact. But then I did. At this point I'm talking about, I was there at the gates of suicide. I was at about the lowest I've ever been, and I thought, I can't do this. Can't see how to do this. Can't see what the point of fucking doing it is.
What is the point?
Yeah.
Had you chosen a method of suicide?
Your head tells you all mad stuff. You think of all mad stuff, but you know, it's not the way. It's not the way, and we're here because we're here to do much, much bigger things.
Yes.
This life is to
We're
learn,
meant to
to
be
teach
here.
us,
We're
to
meant
pull
to
and
be-
stretch us.
We're
like
meant
this.
to fucking go through the bullshit, the fucking shit, to do what we're going to do further. We're meant to do this.
I agree.
So you give us action-packed story after story after story this evening. There's a lot of downtime in prison where nothing happens, the boredom. What was just an average day like for you?
Oh, do you know, an average day was, do you know, we used to have, when it was good, you know, and we'd have a great sense of humour. I mean, we'd be laughing at mad stuff. But again, that's the good people around you. Who you really? We'd have a bit of dinner. You could cook some stuff down like that. A day in the gym. And we'd just hang out. That would be a normal day. I mean, when I was in the blocks a lot, this is where I started writing, started educating myself. That would be a normal day down there. But on the wing, just having a laugh, hanging out, down the gym.
Any funny stories?
Oh, God, there's loads of, there's loads of funny stories. You can think about all the guys. And I just thought about one. I remember Yami Bolo saying about Yami.
Oh, Yami.
Yeah, Yami.
I interviewed Yami. It went on for 4 hours, the longest podcast we've ever done.
Yeah. Yami was a good friend of mine, by the way, right? Yami was everywhere. He was
I'm
one of them
pissed,
guys.
by the way, yes? And right, go on.
It's right just outside the second
Right,
door.
okay.
I'll keep going.
You guys talk, yeah?
Yeah. Go for it.
I seen him once on the landing, Yami Bono, and he come up. He says, I had a friend in there, his name was Charlie, Black Charlie. Now, Charlie was a bit of a boy. You know, he was someone to watch out for. He was one of them that hair trigger and all that, right? Bit of a, wasn't like top-notch criminal, but he was no mug, right? He was one of them ones on the manor who you'd know, right? Come from Acne and all that. So, you know, he was a friend of mine, Charlie. But Yami, you know, I was talking to Yami one day. Charlie used to take a bit of gear and all that in there. Right, but, you know, Yami, he was like, but he said to me one day, Yami, he said, yeah, Steve, you know that Charlie? You know, he said, he didn't tell you the other day, though, did he? You know, when he was clucking, I went in there and gave him a few digs. Because he was right. Because he used to wait till he was clucking, then they'd go and give you a few digs. And he said, Steve, I went in the other day. He said, he didn't tell you I put his head down the toilet, did you? I said, for fucking hell, Yami, man. But these are the mad kind of stories. Matter of factly, like.
Yeah.
Do you know? But this is stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But the way he said it.
Any other high-profile prisoners you've not mentioned? That you like serious killers that were on the news or anything?
Shaun, look, really, they was all there.
They were all in there.
They are all there. A lot of them, you know, was friends of mine from the old days. All of them. There ain't no...
What about Fred West?
No, I never caught him because he was in a different... But I'm on about the real serious criminals, you know.
Shipley?
No, I didn't meet them kind of characters. I met that Colin Ireland because they brought him to the unit, which was really strange because they wouldn't bring someone like that to that unit. But they tried to put him there and it didn't work. We fucked him off, right, obviously, because he's not our kind of fella. But all the other people who you would, you know, kind of know, they was all there because we'd all, you know, we'd be moved around in the same places, Shaun.
You're very well spoken, and you sound like, you know, when you were young, you were wild. Did you educate yourself in prison? Did you study? Did you read?
I did, absolutely. You know, I mean, when there was times, Shaun, you know yourself, when you're in them places and it's so bad, all they'd give me was a pen and paper or a book. So that would be my world, because I could escape with that. So that's where I started writing.
And did you start writing stories for the Monkey Puzzle Tree back then?
I did, but I didn't even know it. I didn't actually write, but I was living history. I mean, people say to me now, they say, Steve, you are living history. You know, you're living history. But I started learning how to write. I wrote my first novel, learning how to write. Then, I mean, I'm in Charlie Bronson's book. If you look in Living Legends, he mentions in there, Charlie, about he read my book. I was a Cat A, Stevie Gillen, London Gangster. He says it had me gripped from the start. He should give up crime because he had earned a lot more from writing than he would than any crime. This was back then. Yeah. Look in the book. This was back then. Yeah. How true. You know, I looked at that the other day after all these years, and it was like a full circle. I thought, how true, Charlie.
But listen to this. Can I just add to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Why doesn't he take his own advice? He only went in on a mug sentence, 2 or 3 years, and he spent all his life there. So why didn't he take the advice what he's just given you?
He's an
Why
excellent
did he do
cartoonist,
it
isn't he?
himself?
Perhaps it took him a long time to learn that.
Charlie, do you know what? Charlie's a good friend of mine and a good guy. One of Charlie's problems is what they do to us in the system is when we're silly enough to make a rod for our own back, then they build us up into something that really we're not. But this is to keep hitting us with a stick. It doesn't serve us. All
I
this
know, but
most
he's-
dangerous
yeah,
man and,
yeah,
and
I know,
this
but
and
Charlie,
that. You never kill no one.
I know he's
Sandhu.
not that dangerous, really. It's me. You and me both know there's a lot more dangerous men out there than him. Really is a nobody, yeah? No, really, and true speaking,
There's a lot
on
of
the out-
dangerous people.
And listen, on the out, he's a fuck. He would just get wiped like that. Took away, bang, bosh, there you go. Yeah? Because he's not a capable criminal. He's just built his life in jail. He's built a story in jail. But I don't understand why you want to spend your life, whole your life inside.
He's trying to get out, isn't he?
He's trying to get
Why
out now.
he's a fu-
He
Well,
should
he's
come
67.
home, Shaun.
I've
Yeah,
just found
yeah.
out he's 67.
Yeah.
Is that right?
He must be something like that, Sandhu.
Fucking
But he needs to come
hell.
home now. He
Yeah.
really
Come
does.
on. 70
Enough
years
is enough,
old.
Enough is
right?
enough. Yeah.
Fucking
You're
hell.
not far off my mum.
With your
I didn't even
with
understand how old he was.
your
I didn't understand how
writing,
old he was.
with your writing, then was it self-taught or did you have like a creative writing teacher or anything like that?
Look, everything I've pretty much done, even the businesses and different stuff I've built, it's self-taught. I learn by doing. Yeah, I'm open. I have wonderful people in my life who many are more further along than I am, and I'm very privileged to have them in my life. They look after me. They really see me, and they see and they help me. Of course, they do. I'm always open to learn, and I've had wonderful people around me in this last part of my life, Shaun, where I didn't have them before.
Yes, not the first. Same
I
as
didn't
me.
have that before.
I didn't have that earlier neither. Now, the people I have now,
Yeah.
like you, Shaun, I've got
Yeah.
about 3-4 others, yeah? I never had that shit, yeah? It's that shit that makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes all the
People-
difference.
People just backing you up, people that are going to help you. Otherwise, you're on your own, man.
Your future is determined by who you associate with.
Pardon?
Your future is determined by who you associate with. All right, so is this going to get? Look at this room. Look around this room. Is this going to? The book is it possibly going to get made into a film? Is there anything you can talk about?
Yeah, this book, look, it's a wonderful book. I must say, there's going to be preview copies out on the 1st. I'm going to have printed copies on the 10th. At the end of July, it's going to be, the book promotion all around the world in the bookshops is going to start in earnest.
So when will it be available in all the bookshops?
They're going to pre-order at the end of July. So it's going to be available at the start of August.
Because we'll
Start of
time
August.
this podcast release then
Yeah,
for when it's available. If it's going to be available at the beginning of August.
beginning of
Because
August.
all people watching this, they've heard these stories. They're going to want to buy your book, and we could put a link right in under the video, and people can just click on that and buy your book. Because the first day is when a lot of people watch it and want to take action.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're looking forward to a screenplay getting made into the movie.
Shaun, this book, look, let me just tell you, this book is wonderfully written. If there's one thing I was good at, was I was a good writer and speaker. The rest I've learned. The publisher, they've been in this game 20 years. They're so excited about this because I've really produced the goods with this because I've made it authentic, Sandhu. No bullshit. I've gone right into it, but it's masterfully written with plots and stuff like that. And it goes through civil war in Ireland, organised crime in London, all of that stuff, high security prisons, Cat A. It goes all the way through to my life today, in high business circles, about the International Peace Prize, where I try and help other people, public speaking, the media stuff I do today. But it's about me starting off, finding my way back to myself and how I found myself, the redemption, the learning, how I got out of that, how I got out of it and transformed my life. And it's going to be, I'm in the sun. I'm in the sun next week, but the Mirror's taking it. The Sun's taking it. They're all confirmed. Been talking to people like Loose Women, Lorraine. This morning, Britain. I mean, a
Loose
real
Women.
big thing. Yeah.
Get on
I
Loose
mean, I
Women.
don't know if they're
I
all
love
things,
to go
but
Loose Women.
You like Loose
You
Women?
and me. Oh,
You like Loose Women?
me. Let me on
You like
the
Loose
show.
Women?
Oh, they would never let me on though.
They haven't confirmed
You
it, but
might
we're
get
talking
on, yeah,
to these people.
but they would
and
never let me
a
on.
lot of them have confirmed already. I won't go into it. So it's big stuff,
Loose Women.
right? You know,
Seriously,
and
You were awarded a Peace Prize.
yeah, I'm an awarded peace ambassador, right? By the UPF. They're an NGO. They do a lot of humanitarian stuff. This is a lot to do with stuff I've done in Africa, going back into prisons.
You went and spoke in prisons in Africa.
No, not in Africa. I was involved with a product that's saving a lot of lives over there, and we've done a lot of work with that company. There's a lot goes on that we don't talk about, Shaun. We just do it.
How does it feel speaking in prisons, even here?
God,
Did they let you back in?
they let me back in, Sandhu. I went to Leeds and everything. I went to women's prisons, and do you know what was really funny? From being taken round the back
I'd love to go to
like,
women's prison.
get away.
Sean, you and me, let's have that.
I've spoken at a few
one.
women's
Have you?
prisons.
Come on,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and me, Talk that one for me, yeah. I love that shit. Right, go on, Steve. Go. I'm sorry to interrupt. Women's prison, Sean, love that one.
They'd be like, I know him. There's my baby's dad.
Do you know what I'm laughing? Because I went to Leeds and all the mad places, but you know the one place I see a fight was in a women's prison.
You saw a fight.
That's where they had to fight. In the men's prison in Leeds and all that, they was okay, they was cool.
Yeah.
But the thing we done in the women's prison, it kicked off.
What made it kick off?
I don't know. At the end, Shaun, these women, it kicked off.
During your talk, there was a fight.
At the end of it, yeah.
At the end of it.
Probably one fancied you, and the other one goes, what? I don't want him. So they probably just had it on.
So when you go in the men's prisons, do you see familiar faces?
Then, not really, because I've been so far away from it.
So-
Shaun.
Not really,
Yeah.
because it's been out since 2002,
Thankfully.
2002,
isn't
is
it?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah, just
Yeah.
after that.
You can see
So
nobody.
how does your story resonate then with this new breed that's in there?
It's very powerful, Shaun.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is with who's going through that life. It's like anything. They look to an authority figure. Don't come and tell me if you ain't even. But someone who's done it all, wore a T-shirt, they have to listen. All right, my ears are open. I'm not saying I'm listening, but my ears are open, right? So it's very powerful, you know.
And when you leave one of those talks and you feel that connection with them, how does it make you feel?
I'm very glad that I've done it. I won't say it was easy. It's a lot of emotions, but it's something I had to do, you know? Something I had to do. And to go back in there from someone who was like, get away, who was taken round the back with the dogs, to go in the front, and everyone's saying, shaking your hand and all that
It's
is,
quite weird, actually.
it's quite a experience.
I remember
Shaun.
the first prison talk I did after getting out, and it was a bit of a mind fuck. Hearing the noises, the keys and everything, and
It's not easy.
the background noise that's always ongoing. How did it feel to you going in the first time after all that?
Oh, God, exactly the same. I can remember I walked through, and you know what? I was with this psychologist who I was delivering a thing with. She got me to go in there, and I can remember walking through and looking up at the cells, and I felt all the pain, Shaun. I just felt it like a wave. I thought, wow, all the pain, straight away. So it come back. So, I had a day.
It's a smell of it.
Yeah, there's a feeling, Sandhu. I felt the pain of it straight away, and I could just feel it everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought, wow.
Does it help you psychologically to help other people?
Absolutely, yeah. As much as, yeah.
What's the meaning of your life now?
To improve the lives of hundreds of millions of people worldwide, We build businesses and we do many stuff and, filmmaking, loads of stuff. And, we are doing as much as we can. We've done a lot of wonderful stuff already. There's a lot more to come with the book and the film and, it's all there. So this will give a lot of answers to a lot of people and, hopefully it will help them in their Hard times.
Is there anything you would like to say in conclusion to the people watching this who have been on a 3-hour journey with you?
Wow, was it 3 hours?
Yes.
Has it? Let's go down for a fucking piss. I thought it was a long time.
We got a lot of young people watching this. Some who might be tempted into the lifestyle think it's glamorous.
Look, it's not glamorous, you know. Glamorous is being different, not doing what all these idiots want you to do. Glamorous is being yourself, being part of the human race, not apart from it, you know, and finding a good way, because this good way is in all of us. But the trick is, it's up to us to find it. Whether we find that at the start, the middle, or the end, that's for us to find out. Some of us find it a bit later, don't they, Sandhu? But if you're clever, you'll find it a lot sooner than we did. And there are people there to, you know, I do a lot of work in this area to try and help people.
And if you're carrying a weapon, look at the sentence length that you look at, you know, is it worth it?
Never ends. Well, stay away from this stuff.
Yeah. People are going to want to follow you on your socials. Which socials are you on?
All of them, really. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You know, they can get me. I have a personal brand, www.Stephen with the PH, Gillen, GILLEN.com. There's a lot of stuff in there. Even this book, Shaun, we've got our own journal behind it, which has its own system with coachings and all that, which takes people on their own journey of transformation. There's a lot of videos on there, coaching, different ways. Because people get the book, they say, wow, that's really good, that book. That's a really good book. You read that book. But what they really need is they want to condense the value of the book for them, to help them. So, you know, we really believed in this. So we come up with a lot of systems behind that for people who want to support, who are struggling, who want some answers, who want to reach out, who want something better, who want to get over the pain that they're in, so they can start that journey. And
are you available for people to coach people?
Absolutely, I do it. You know, I mean, I do a lot of exclusive coaching, but all of that stuff will be there. Reach out, absolutely, reach out, and there are many things we can do.
What is your preferred method of people contacting you?
Email is good, or
So I can put your email in the box then below the video.
Yeah, email was good. And do you know what? Reach out. You know, a lot of people think we're so busy, and yeah, we are sometimes, but we always get back to people. And, you know, we have a lot of systems for other people. We work with people all around the world. So that help and that guidance is really there. And we do get round to people, and we are there for people. It's really as simple as that.
Chet's the only guest who puts his phone number at the bottom of the video, aren't you? Guess you're still getting calls every day.
Yeah.
Talk dirty to me, Chet. Come on, baby.
I'm changing my number next month anyway, yeah. But this phone is still going to be online, yeah? But I'm giving it to somebody else because I get that many fucking prank. I don't know who the fuck they are. I don't know what the fuck they are. It's all good shit.
All good.
Fuck it.
All right. So all the people who are watching this then, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a laugh. Please put what you thought about this podcast in the comments section below the video. Huge thank you to all the new subscribers. Subscription logo is the bottom right-hand corner. Go for it.
Go on. Listen to me. I'm starring in a film, yeah?
Yeah.
My first acting debut next month.
Hell yeah.
KUB, yeah? There's a film set. Stephen, you want a part in this film, yeah?
We could definitely talk about
Right,
that.
okay, because we need a Cockney gangster. We did have one, yeah? But an argument with him last night, and I told him to fuck off, so he's fucked up, yeah? Because he wasn't putting up with the goods, yeah? So we're making a film, KUB. It's going to be a premiere. No one's getting paid on it, but the filming is going to be good. Shaun, if you want a part in this.
Look it up.
Yeah,
Look
listen to me. We got some good boys in it,
great
yeah?
fun.
I don't know
Sounds
who
great
I'm
fun.
allowed to mention here because they told me some names in it, but I don't want to mention it.
Yeah, keep names
right?
out.
Yeah. But it's gonna be a good one, yeah. It's a good one. I'm acting in it, my first acting debut. So we're doing that. The Alpha CBD
The link to
rolling.
Chet's CBD oil is also
Will
down
be
there
on
in the
there,
description.
of course, yeah.
And a link to his three or four other podcasts we've done, including the one that's going viral. Gangster calls out
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyson Fury, yeah. Great one, yeah.
I'm half his weight, yeah, but I'm too quick for that.
Huge thank you to all the people who've donated.
Yes, thank you.
The links are in the description box, so we can have James, our cameraman, Joe, our sound engineer, and record in professional level in the podcast studio like this. All right, fellas, massive thank you to Chet for being a brilliant co-interviewer. Let me give you a hug, Stephen.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, man. Absolutely brilliant.
Bro,
Yeah.
we're on it. First time I met you, Steve.
Oh, it's cool,
Love you,
man.
brother.
Yeah, nice
Love
to
you,
see
brother.
you, man.
Love you,
Cool.
love you, man. Love you.
Cool.
Classic.